terrifically exhausted this week.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrifically exhausted this week.
I know the feeling.
I feel like I've been exhausted for a little while, but I don't know what it is about this particular week that's just got me like knocked flat. But my exhaustion has no bearing on the Rage Select podcast outside of the fact that, you know, the more tired I get, the more cranky I get. And then
like
the crankier. What's that?
It's like the Hulk without the strength.
That's my secret cap. I'm always cranky. Actually, that's not true. I kind of wanted to I was kind of thinking before we started about whether I should say that I feel like I've been a little like grumpy just in general on this channel over the last couple weeks. And I think that I don't know if anybody knows this, but you know, Matt and I did that stupid Genshin Impact videos. Everybody loves that game. We didn't like it. And so it turns into this weird self-fulfilling prophecy where the comments make you mad, and then you go to record a new video and you're super salty to begin with, so you make another salty video and then everybody's like, Jesus Christ, you're so salty, and you're just like, oh well, you're salty. There's no escape from the salt dimension that I'm living in. Also, I'm not sleeping at all, which that may have something to do with it.
That definitely
as well.
would have something to do with it. Yeah.
Hades is a hell of a drug.
I can't blame you on that one.
I've been playing so much Hades recently, and it's just and that's the third part of the story wheel of the salt dimension is you know what? Fuck the internet. I just need to play a video game for a while, and then you end up staying up way too late, and then you end up not sleeping, and then when you get up the next day, you're just now I'm tired and mad, and I've got things I have to do, and none of them are playing Hades. God damn it. So. Anyway, how have you been recently?
I've been okay.
What's been going on?
The YouTubers, the drama has gone 10,000-fold with a few places.
Oh yeah,
holy shit!
Like who?
What happened there with Rooster Teeth?
Oh,
did you hear about that one?
I don't keep up with YouTuber drama.
It's fine. So this specific YouTuber drama involved Funhouse and Rooster Teeth.
Okay.
So one of the Funhouse guys was apparently sending a lot of nudes to somebody.
Oh, geez.
And they all leaked.
Okay.
And it turns out he was doing terrible things in the office.
Well, that's no good.
And so they let him go. And his marriage is probably on the rocks now. Whole thing. But that's not the bad. That's not even the bad one. The bad one is what happened with one of the Achievement Hunter people. Is that he was a sexual predator.
Okay.
And it came out, and now everything's on fire in the Achievement Hunter world.
Wow, well, that's
pretty bad.
That kind of makes my there were 4 mean comments on YouTube.
It's bad.
Problem look kind of puts that in perspective a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
That does not sound good. I don't really know how to. I mean, I don't know how to comment on YouTube drama because.
Well, it's just it was one of those things where on the Funhouse side, I follow Funhouse really well.
Yeah.
So that bummed me out because that means there wasn't as much content because they're now scrambling to figure out what to do with this. And then the Achievement Hunter thing happened, and I was like, I only follow Achievement Hunter passingly.
Right.
I didn't really start getting into it fairly recently, and when I started covering it for one of us. Yeah, until I started covering. Hold on a second.
We're having some microphone errors here. All right, no, that should be fine. Nope, it's fine.
Okay,
fine. There we go.
Okay,
I have one broken microphone stand, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is that I didn't really start following it until I started, until I really interviewed them for one of us. I was like, oh, these guys seem kind of cool. I'll start watching their content.
Okay.
And so I started watching some of their content every now and then. And then this happened, and I was just like, well, fuck. It's a good thing I joined in late because all of the rest of the fans are all on suicide watch kind of thing.
Holy crap.
It's fucking bad. I watched a video of them having basically they put out a statement finally, and it's rough.
Okay.
It's rough.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah. my life has actually been pretty okay.
All right.
Because I started a new job. I've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
I know a lot of stuff about the thing that I got hired for, essentially. Other than that, my roommate's been going full on October when it comes to watching what he's watching while I'm working.
Okay.
So every now and then I'll come out and he'll be watching something.
Horror movies?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by full on October? Or
yeah, basically. He recently did the Evil Dead series. I came in during my lunch hour while I was watching the Evil Dead. And I was like, should I be eating while watching the Evil Dead? The answer is no, you shouldn't, because I almost didn't finish my food at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But I had to because I had to go back to work. And then other than that, he's been watching all the Simpsons Halloween episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We got to number 20, and he's also watching Ash versus the Evil Dead to continue the Evil Dead stuff.
Okay.
He's also watched a few other horror stuff like The Fly, all those kinds of things. I started playing Ghostbusters again while he's watching some of these things, since I can do it on my Switch. And I realized I own Ghostbusters on 4 different ways.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I
feel like you and John are having like a contest to see who can buy the Ghostbusters game more times, more legitimate times.
I've been debating buying it for the PS2.
For the PS2?
Yeah, because the cartoon it's called the cartoon version because it's more cartoony looking. And I want to see the differences.
There is YouTube. I know you know about YouTube.
I know
just talking to me about YouTube,
but I can play it.
Oh my goodness!
Why should
do you
I
have
not
functional
do this?
PlayStation 2?
I do.
That you're going to use to play one.
It's a mod. I have to get another controller though because that controller's fucked.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have a modded PS2 from Saudi Arabia that my brother got when he was stationed over there.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
I watched. I finally watched season 2 of The Boys last week because they put up the last episode, right? So I binge watched the whole thing. It was pretty good. It's very strange watching The Boys. It's like if you were a really big fan of the Wanted comic and then you watched Wanted the movie and you're like, I don't know how to compare these two things. Like, the comic book of The Boys is very different.
It's vulgar as fuck too.
I mean,
it's gross.
It's like the characters are kind of the same, but like they've gone. Like the end of season 1 definitely put them on a different track, and then no, that's not true. Season 1 was different. They're only tangentially related, but I don't know if the Stormfront character was even in the comics.
I heard she was. But I don't know.
It's been a long time since I read.
I only read up to a certain point because I was just like, this is far too much for me.
Yeah, I actually like Garth Ennis's meanness.
For some reason, I only like it when it's in The Punisher, like fully. Like I read Preacher, and I'm like, I like Preacher, but it was never like my favorite. But whenever he does Punisher, like I'm always into his like nihilistic shit.
Yeah,
when that happens, because I think it's because it's in the context of the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. But I get it, and I like that The Boys is doing really well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see something that's different, right? Like it kind of reminds me. It just makes me think back to all of the Netflix Marvel shows.
Oh, okay.
And how The Boys is like a lot of wandering around doing stuff, personal relationships, and then every so often there's like some superhero shit that happens.
Yeah,
and like that's the exact same description of the Netflix shows, except that like. The Netflix shows were so fucking boring. Like,
oh yeah, they're drab as hell.
They just went on and on and on and on and on, and it was just like, wow, how did you make me not care about any of this?
Like it bums me out that they canceled The Tick on Amazon because they're getting Invincible.
Yeah,
they're doing the Invincible show.
Oh, they could do that. Yeah.
They released the teaser for it.
Oh,
because it's an animated one.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great, but Amazon could have been just 3 different shows that makes fun of superheroes.
Right.
And the fact that it is not bums me out.
Man, I'm kind of bummed out that Invincible is animated because after the amount of gore that they put into The Boys, I feel like because like. When superheroes fight in Invincible, the results are graphic.
It's super graphic.
Graphic.
So like because Invincible ended not that long ago.
Yeah.
And the artist for it started drawing for Spider-Man.
Okay.
And every time I read it, I'm expecting something super fucked up to happen.
You're expecting Spider-Man to accidentally punch the side of Doc Ock's face off.
Yeah, exactly.
And see his skull under there.
Because I'm so used to that in Invincible that I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Waiting for some fucked up shit to happen.
Well, speaking of some fucked up shit, I actually fucked up last week because Matt and I talked about the Monster Hunter trailer. That was a teaser. The full Monster Hunter trailer is out this week.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, you have to, because here's the thing. I don't give a shit. So I look at this and I'm just like, it seems like this to me is the Resident Evil of Monster Hunter movies, right? Like
that's what Robert Luke keeps saying, by the way.
Okay, so here, let me put this forward. All right. I don't think that if you made a faithful adaptation of Monster fucking Hunter, that it would be interesting to watch. Monster Hunter is a game about grinding, killing big monsters so you can get the gear to grind, to kill big monsters, to grind, to get the gear to kill big monsters.
See, that's not my issue with the movie though, because my issue with the movie is that because like you said, you can't make an actual faithful adaptation.
Sure.
But what you could do is you can make a story within that world. The issue I have with this is if you decided I was going to make a Lord of the Rings movie or something that takes place in the Lord of the Rings movie, but then was like, but what if a bunch of army people ended up there instead?
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's boring. I don't want to see that. It's the issue a lot of video game movies or movies like that in general happen. Like with like Masters of the Universe, for instance, where it's like, oh, I love this world, but what if you didn't care about that world? It's like, well, what the fuck?
So, I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems like old school. It seems like the thing that is a lot of times a problem for filmmakers when they're trying to adapt a thing where they're like, we need a POV character, because if you just make it in the Monster Hunter universe, right? This is a universe full of people that, like, there's talking cats and they're eating big steaks and they've got their huge ass bone swords and they go out and whack a Rathalos with their big bone sword, and like you can see how, like, if you're trying to get the biggest amount of people, like the general populace, to come see your movie, like that's a big buy-in at the beginning. Asking them to just be like, the world is this.
Yeah, but we live in a world where there's a bunch of where they made a movie about a talking fucking raccoon. Like we're at the point where people are willing to accept some weird shit.
Nope. That talking raccoon hung out with a dude from the 80s that had like a backpack and a Walkman and a bunch of relatable shit. All right, it wasn't just a movie about the tree and the raccoon. Like there was a POV character. I don't know. I guess the thing is that I feel like this is one of those things. I don't care about Monster Hunter, and I don't really care about this movie.
Let's put it this way. Let's say they decided to make a Dark Souls movie, but instead of just a normal Dark Souls movie, they decided that
like the person
that Jai Courtney needed to show up because he's an RB guy that got transported there.
Yeah, he got teleported to Dark Souls universe. It's fine. I've
like a bunch of them.
If they made a Dark Souls movie, it would be stupid. Like, I don't care what they do. Like, I would never have any faith that it would be a good movie.
Well, that's the thing, is that you don't, like, that's the issue, is that we're still at the point where we don't care about video game movies because we know they're not going to do anything good with them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that sucks. It's really my issue with it.
I guess when I watch this, I'm just like, I don't know. This seems like something stupid that I'll be like, oh, that's on Amazon Prime. I never saw that movie. I'll check it. Like, I'm not going to fucking rent out an AMC theater or, like, pay $30 on Disney Plus to watch Monster Hunter.
I'm just going to say this movie's going to be stupid. It's going to be really fucking stupid.
I don't know.
I'm fairly sure I'm going to hate this movie.
I don't know. The action seemed like fine to me.
My other issue is that every line is very generic in this trailer. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just generic ass like army lines.
I don't know.
Like if you switch this into like anything else, it would be the same goddamn thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think that maybe
it's also the Transformers issue.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I want to see all these Transformers. It's like, oh, that's great, but let's hang out with these guys instead.
Maybe I've just gotten to a point where like they've ruined enough of my
No, you
shit
absolutely have.
That like I'm like, I don't see what the big deal is. You knew they were going to ruin it. You knew when Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich were signed on to this movie, you knew it was going to be
it's
shit.
True, actually.
To start with. I don't know why.
True.
You're like, my hopes, my dreams. I'm like, did you invest anything in the Paul W.S. Anderson, Mila Jovovich Monster Hunter movie?
It's just that thing where it's like you were kind of hoping it just got canceled, and then it just never did, and then it happens, and you're just like, ah, fuck, and then you got to explain it to people.
Yeah,
and then you just don't want to deal with that.
I don't know. There's a bunch of monsters that get hunted in this trailer. That's all. That's all. Seems fine. I'm just like
all I have
big CGI monsters.
All I have to say
shot.
is that Paul W.S. Anderson loves OC characters, and it's just his wife. Like every time, I bet you if he plays a game, he just makes Mila Jovovich as the main character every time.
I wanted to look up how old Mila Jovovich is. Mila Jovovich is 3 years older than I am.
Really?
Yeah, she's 45 years old, which is, apropos of nothing. It's just like, I guess I've been watching Mila Jovovich in like action movies for 20 years, and she's looked exactly the goddamn same.
Yeah, she was a child actor. She's been acting pretty much her whole life.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, we have a lot of news. I'm really hoping. I really tried to pare down a little bit this week, but there was also a Night City Wire.
Oh, okay.
But it was a weird Night City Wire, so we're probably going to be able to get through it pretty quickly. So let's see. Last week we got one question. Maybe this week we can get 2 questions out. But yes, we started, or we're going to start this week with Night City Wire. This was focused on maybe probably the least interesting thing in any video game. This was a split feature between the cars of Night City and the fashion of Night City.
Yeah. That could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, like, it all looks fine, but I'm not playing this game to drive cars. I'm driving the cars to get to a place to shoot at people. The one thing that was weird was that they had a part in this where they basically talked in this about different classes of cars. There's like kind of economy junkers, like kind of luxury cars, like speedsters. There's some kind of like futuristic hypertech cars that you see in there. They talked about how you can basically like, because the way in The Witcher,
it's the family trickster.
You just hit a button and your horse shows up, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that you can, I think if you steal a car, you can't do that. But if you buy a car, you can just hit a button and like whatever your default car is just auto pulls up and you can get into it.
That's kind of fun.
And you can mod them out. It seems like they put a lot of work into here. They're like, oh, they all have different interiors. I'm like, why? I mean, like, I know you're playing from a first-person point of view, but I don't ever look around it's not like in Grand Theft Auto 5, I was like, ooh, this one looks different than the other one. They also have part of this where they talk about like, this is one of those things where, so I don't really have it on the docket to talk about for this week, but there's been this kind of like this story about the overtime at CD Projekt Red and the crunch,
the crunching,
and so there's this interview with the senior sound designer that goes on for like 5 minutes in this thing where they show him going out to this track and like putting like 18 mics on a car and then driving that car. He's like, we put some under the hood, we put some by the exhaust, we put some like inside, we put some outside. I'm like, dude, all you had to do was go by.
We shoved a microphone in this driver's ass to be sure.
Yeah, like how many millions of dollars did you guys spend fucking miking up like different cars to get different sounds?
Fuck.
I mean, it seems like way too much work for what is ostensibly. They talked
for
about
the 5 guys who are going to notice this.
Right. They talked about how they didn't do that in The Witcher 3, and I'm like, yeah, what did you like put a horse in a motion capture suit and then put 80 mics on the horse to make sure you get all the proper tendon noises?
You got to make sure we get its fart sounds.
Right. I don't know. It seems really opulent is the word.
It's overkill to be honest.
Like, if this was a Gran Turismo or a Forza game, I could imagine it. But, like, these guys taping these mic arrays to, like, the side of a sports car. It's just like, why? Why are you doing this?
Did you do this to your guns, too? I want to know.
Shit. I don't think so. The one thing that was...
what's the point?
I have no idea. I mean, like, I guess authenticity, but this is one of those things where... I mean, I guess
strange.
I'm the guy who looks at the vending machines in every video game. So
I guess that's true, yeah.
This is for the audiophile... car people. They also talk about how Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves' character, has like a custom Porsche 911, like from the 1977. So it's a 1977 Porsche in 2077.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
And how they did all this stuff with the Porsche, and I'm just like, that's cool. I'm not really a car guy, but
I'm one of those ones that like it goes back and forth depending on the car.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about a Mustang, I'll talk about Mustangs all day, but if you talk to me about like literally almost anything else, I'd be like, I don't care.
Like, look, did you see that? There was just a part of the video of 2 guys with gigantic microphones pointing at them rolling up the window on a Porsche 911. And then like, yep, we got it. I'm like, you didn't need it.
Yeah.
You needed one sound for roll up the window. How often do you even roll the windows down in a video game? Like,
yeah. When would you? Is that a button that you have?
Is there a thing where a guy pulls up and then the window goes down and he's like, get in, we got to talk about the job, right? But like, you could have used any. I wasn't gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, that wasn't the sound a Porsche 911 from 1977 makes when you roll the window down on it.
Some future shit. Fuck your shit.
Yeah.
I'm returning this game now.
They talk a lot about Keanu Reeves has a motorcycle company that they're putting his motorcycles in the game.
Oh, that's neat.
It's fine.
Very nice guy.
Yeah. They talk about the style. There's like 4 different main like clothing styles that you get in the game. There's kitsch, which is kind of like unmatching future, think like current TikTok people,
okay,
but with a little bit more like silver and gold and shit. And then there's like the Outlands where they just don't give a shit, and it's like t-shirts and camo pants and like whatever. Then there's like
my jam.
Corporate brutal chic, the like super sharp lines, very flat black kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's like the kitsch, but it's like the neo kitsch, so it's like super like people with full gold skin and a leopard print coat, and like pink hot pants kind of shit. Like,
oh jeez.
So yeah, I'm like, all right, oh, that's cool. I'm sure I'll see it in the game. I don't know why you felt the need to like name all this shit, but it's fine.
They're stretching out that world, man.
They did have an interesting thing where they did a cosplay contest, and they had like this thing where they invited a bunch of the best cosplayers to just kind of like walk around in real life in this area in their cosplay with a bunch of like props and shit, and so it's like live action Cyberpunk 2077.
That's kind of cool,
which is pretty cool. Because these people they kind of went all out with their cosplay.
Yeah.
And then I guess like the only other things of note is they did announce that you can pre-order on Stadia, and Stadia is going to launch same day. So Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia on launch day.
Okay.
And then there was a very short cinematic at the end called The Diner that was like the main character talking with somebody. I don't know if this means something to the people that know this universe, but I didn't know what it was. Just like this guy being like, you're going to have to get all these upgrades if you're going to take over Night City, kid. I'm an old man in a diner. And I'm like, oh, no, okay.
What was the name of the diner from episode 2?
I don't know. The one where Dexter Jetster works?
Yeah, Dexter Jetster. I think it was just Dexter's Inn or Dexter's Diner or something.
Dexter Jetster. What a horrible CGI alien that can't keep his pants pulled up. And
I'd love for him to just show up randomly in
weird
2077.
robot wife. Dexter. There's no aliens in Cyberpunk 2077.
It doesn't have to be an alien. It just has to be the same voice actor.
Oh, God.
That'd be amazing. Just a fat guy with a big old mustache.
And what does he know? Why does Dexter Jetster know about poison darts? What the fuck? How does he know that they're making the poison darts on Camino?
He's into some fucked up shit.
He runs like a 50s diner in Coruscant. What do you know, Dexter Jetster? Can I get the backstory? Can I get like the book, the in canon book about Dexter Jetster and how he met his like robot waitress wife on,
Somebody's working on it now.
Somebody's doing it. Yeah.
Somebody at Disney's eyes just cha-chinged.
Yep. Okay, so speaking of the future, and we had a big PlayStation update that happened this week, which did not go well. The PlayStation 8.00 update came that brought two-factor authentication. The party system has been reworked. A lot of this is to get the PS4 components in line with what the PS5 is going to end up for cross-compatibility. There's some different types of new avatars that you can choose. This has been... Okay. I have a lot of weird mixed feelings about this because it's been kind of a semi-debacle. A lot of people have been saying that like they can't access their friends list, or that like if you're doing the like remote play, right, the two-factor authentication has kind of fucked up some of that. That parties don't work the way they used to. Like they're more complicated to get into a multiplayer game with your friends than it used to be. But the big thing is that now whenever you join a chat on the PlayStation, it brings up this message that says like, by joining a party chat, you agree that you are potentially going to be recorded. So let's talk about it. This feature has existed for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, the first big misconception that people are having, because people are freaking the fuck out.
Oh, okay.
They're just like, Sony can't record me. What about privacy? What about the First Amendment? It's like, okay, let's talk about a few things. Number one, this has been part of the PlayStation end-user licensing agreement since 2017, that they can fucking record you. You know these end-user license agreement, they can do whatever they fucking want.
That's true.
They're going to erase all their games and take your money, and you can't do shit. It'll take 3 years.
You didn't fucking read the damn thing.
Right. You didn't know what you agreed to. But first off, this has been a thing. Second, this is not Sony recording your conversations and uploading it to Sony servers. This is a local recording of your voice chat on the PlayStations involved with the voice chat for the purpose of, if you are going to submit a community complaint to Sony, being able to basically attach the audio file that contains the community complaint, right? I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
like,
no,
if you were going to send them, if you were going to send Sony, somebody, private messaged you and called you all kinds of racist shit and you wanted to report them, you would like send them what the person said to you, right? That's how reporting works. So the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really weird like notions about this, about just like, whoa, my privacy. And it's like, I honestly don't think you had privacy. I don't think that today was the day that your privacy went away. I don't think you had privacy before that. I mean, I could be wrong. And please, somebody point out if I'm wrong. If you can find something from the previous end user license agreement that says Sony will never record anything you do. I mean, we already know that they're like collecting usage statistics and shit like that, right? We know that there's at least that they have your trophy info, right? So we know that they know how far you're playing in video games. Sony does know that right now.
Well, the main thing I think what the message is originally for is the fact that there's a lot of laws right now in the UK, or not just the UK, the EU in general, that involves like, hey, we need to tell them these things.
The disclosure.
What is it? The GDPR or something? I forget the name of it. It's all over the place.
Yeah. The reason you have to say allow cookies now on every single fucking website.
It's that, and it's just what it is. It's just I think it's part of that, to be honest. Like I think they're just finally like okay, you deserve to know that you're gonna be you could be recorded, not just by us though, is the thing.
Right.
Not me specifically. But I'm saying, like,
you guys know Michael is Sony.
If I was Sony, yeah,
he's Sony.
Sony's saying just not us specifically, but there's plenty of things it uses to record in general. Like people record their parties all the time for like Twitch stuff and stuff like that. Like you were being recorded the whole goddamn time, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like so the thing is, also the other reason this is a little weird to me is like you could always just install Discord on your phone, and like talk to your friends via that. Like there are a lot of other solutions.
Nintendo says you should do that. You might as well.
I don't know. The other thing, and the legitimate question that I have here is if you think that this is a huge problem. I mean, okay, listen, again, this is kind of like Monster Hunter. I don't fucking voice chat. I don't talk to people when I play online. I turn my microphones off. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people online. I want to talk to people when they're in my house. And sometimes chatting on the internet, but not over. I don't want to talk to the randos that are playing Call of Duty. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to talk to them. So, like, I don't do that. My perspective on this is skewed. But part of me wonders, like, okay, so if you can't record any voice stuff, how are you supposed to enforce the policies of the communications policies of the system?
Yeah.
Because if you can't record a thing and you say, hey, this person said that they were going to come to my house and fucking kill me, I would like them, like, banned away from me at least, right? Then how would like the opposite of this is what you just make a claim and Sony just says it's true regardless of whether you have proof or not.
Yeah.
Or no community guidelines claims can ever be made, and that just means that like that we've seen what happens when you don't moderate at all.
Yeah.
You get 4chan.
So some fucking insane shit.
Like, for years the Xbox was like. Had a reputation of being like a toxic online community.
Oh, it's still the gag that they fucked your mom to this day.
Right. So I guess that's my question, because I'm not planning on having a conversation with anybody, or if I am going to have a conversation over voice comms, it's going to be like, fucking somebody get to point A, get to point A, get to point A. I can't leave B. Somebody's got to get to point A. It's not just going to be like, hey, bro, you know what I think about bitches? Man, fuck those whores. Like, I mean, like, what? Or like stringing a bunch of racist comments into a microphone? I don't know. I don't get the scenario.
The thing is, if I'm on party chat, it's with somebody I know, and for the most part, that's not going to happen. Like, if it is, it's because we're fucking around, kind of thing. Like it's just that people just see the words you might be recorded, and they took it to the 11th like degree thing. Like they took the worst possible scenario, where that's not what it is.
I'm honestly asking here because I read it, and I guess I watched a YouTube video today of somebody that was just like, rah, fucking my rights, and I'm like, Well, first, I don't think you had those rights that you think you had. I just think you didn't read the EULA and it didn't actually surface. Like, Microsoft was recording people and uploading that shit to Microsoft.
Yeah, the Kinect was the whole thing.
Not just that, but they were recording the same thing. They were recording the party chat.
No, but I mean, with do you remember what happened when they revealed that the Kinect was also
listening?
Was recording people in general?
Yeah.
Like outside of chats?
No, but I mean, like, Microsoft was doing it just to do work on their voice comm system.
No, exactly.
To see like what the results were from the field, because to try to make it better. And so I don't know. I mean, I just assume that if you attach a microphone to something.
Well, here's the thing. Like, everybody's just saying, like, but my rights. It's like, yeah, but you also are typing that on the phone, your phone that is clearly tracking you at all times. There's so many things where it's like when somebody's like, my rights and my privacy, is like, you don't have it anymore. You haven't had it since the internet started for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, if you were that concerned about privacy, I feel like, okay, get a PC. Like, get a PC.
Just start reading.
Well, no, I mean, like,
stop using systems.
You could do it without that, but like,
well, that's what I mean. Like, the thing is, like, if you're really that much worried, yeah, get a PC or just read. Like, it's really like,
well, reading is not a multiplayer game.
It can be.
You can't play Call of Duty.
What do you think
with
book clubs are?
No,
book clubs are multiplayer books.
No,
that's all it is.
No,
that's exactly what it is.
But yeah, I don't get this one.
Play D&D.
You could do that. You could do that.
Literally anything that doesn't have anything to do with electronics.
You could do that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And
Go
I guess
for
it's
a jog.
a lot of big deals. I was actually much more interested in the stuff that was coming out of the PS5 user experience. So they're updating the PlayStation to be in line with this new UI. So there's a bunch of new weird shit in the new PlayStation UI. Some of it is interesting. Some of it I'm not a big fan of. So when you're playing a game and you hit the PlayStation button now, it brings up like these cards that are things that you can do. Yeah. And then at the bottom, it's got kind of a menu. So one of the things that it does is like you'll have a thing that says like you're in the middle of like a level or a trophy or something, right? And you can literally pull that up, and then for some games, you can just say, okay, take me to that level. Take me to the place where that trophy is, and it will bring you to the area where you need to go.
That's weird. Neat, but weird.
Yeah. It also apparently, there's a whole thing where there are hints that are built into these things. So like these trophies basically are like, you need to get the example that they do is that in this level of Little Big Planet, you need to get these robes. And so they say like resume, it loads you into the level, and then it's like, well, what if you don't want to? No, you can basically like bring up this objective. And I don't think these are trophies, but you can bring up an objective that's in progress. And for games that support it, it literally will have a 3-part hint system that will show you a video of how to get the thing like built into the game.
That's crazy as fuck.
Yeah. Like in this example, it literally will bring up a picture-in-picture video that you can like snap to one side that will show you exactly where the objective is that you're looking for, that you can ever choose to access or not access, which is real bizarre. Like,
yeah, what?
Yeah. I wonder how many people are going to actually use this, because it seems like a lot of
kids,
work.
Probably.
But yeah, but it does seem like you don't have to like stop and open up YouTube and search for like where is the golden fuck stick, like, and then hey guys, welcome back, part 65 of fucking Zaxxon 2. We're gonna get the golden fuck stick today. First, the sponsor from Audible. Like, you just like find out where a thing is instead of having to go through all that bullshit.
Sure, yeah.
There's also, they bring up stuff with voice chats and party chats that kind of just pop up that you can do. They do show
so crazy.
There's like a new screenshot system. One of the things that's really interesting is apparently they have a system set up that like if your friend takes a screenshot of a game and you have it set a certain way and like that screenshot is technically a spoiler, it will like automatically spoiler tag it when it brings it up in your feed. And you have to literally click through the spoiler tag to see it. So you can't just like accidentally see the screenshot that I took of the very end of Demon's Souls and be like, oh, I guess I don't have to play that game anymore. But it's supposed to be like automatic, and it makes me wonder like how many of these games have tags. Also, there's a weird thing where like one of the people on this guy's friends list is playing a PS4 game, and they literally like take that stream and make it a picture-in-picture on their screen while they're playing another game, which seems like incredibly distracting and horrible to me, but I don't know if you want to like watch your friends play another game. It seems like if your game is not engrossing enough to the point where you need to watch one of your friends play a different game while you're playing the game that you're playing, that you maybe should be playing a better game. But that's just me. That's
maybe they're doing something else. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know what else you would be doing on a system that doesn't involve watching something at minimum.
Yeah. I don't know either. There's also some stuff where they show basically like the quick resume jumping from one game to another game in a party with people ready to play a multiplayer game, and it takes like 5 seconds, which is that Destruction All-Stars game. So yeah, I mean, like they also show what basically the new cross-media bar is, where it seems like they've shoved all of the menu stuff into the top.
Yeah.
And then the middle is where you're going to have, like, you know all that shit on the PlayStation that you don't care about that's underneath launch the game?
Yeah.
That's going to be, like, real front and center in the new UI.
Which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. I loaded up my PlayStation 3 to do some videos, and I was realizing how I kind of missed the cross-media like categories view, where it's like TV up, games up and down. But I don't know. I mean, it looks like just an iteration on the PS4. There, like I said, the kind of taking pictures, the social stuff, is not really my bag. But do you do that? Do you take pictures or like post stuff?
I take pictures, but I've never really used it on the PlayStation Store, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I've never been like, I took a bunch of pictures and then somebody messaged me on PlayStation and be like, oh, that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like, if I do, I put it on my Twitter and then I post it on my Facebook kind of thing. I've never really used the social aspect in the actual PlayStation itself.
Yeah. Oh, they also said that the PlayStation Store was going to be basically integrated into the UI apps and not like its own launch anymore.
Okay.
So instead of launching separately into it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe what they're trying to make the PlayStation UI into its own integrated social network. So it's like you're not posting to Twitter anymore, you're posting to your PlayStation 4 friends.
It's already a thing though. Like that's like you said, when you just push down, it shows you all those things people have done.
Right.
Like it'll be like cuz I'll look at a game and I'll push down and I'd be like, hey, your cousin finished this level or something.
Right.
Or he's playing it now kind of thing. And here's the screenshots he did. And I've only had somebody like it once on that thing. And it was when I was playing Spider-Man and my cousin had hit it. And that was literally the only time it's ever happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like what you would expect. I don't know. There's some interesting stuff in there, but a lot of it is, I keep, it takes me a long time to get caught up with like the new innovations, because like I'm used to using these, like I'm used to what the PS4 can do, right?
Yeah.
The PS5 will come out, it'll have a bunch of new features, and I'm like, well, I don't want any of these features. I don't care about the features. I just want to play video games. Like I don't care about having a walkthrough or the ability to join. I don't play multiplayer games. I'm not going to use this like Facebook.
Well, it's the same issue, I had when the Xbox One first came out, and they're like, hey, you can connect your cable box to the Xbox.
Right.
I'm like, I don't fucking care. I just want to play Halo.
Yep. So that was kind of interesting. We also saw some other stuff from PlayStation. We got a list of backwards compatible PS. Like there's like a user knowledge base article now that basically has like how the backwards compatibility is going to work. There are 10 listed games that do not work with backwards compatibility, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what the common thing is between them.
Well, one of them I found out was that with Afro Samurai 2, it was so fucking bad that they were just like, let's not make this work on the PS5.
It's Afro Samurai 2 DWVR, which is a PSVR game, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Joe's Diner, Just Deal With It, TT Isle of Man, Robinson The Journey, Shadow Complex Remastered, Shadwen, and We Sing. And I'm like, there is no commonality between those games. Like, it's not like, oh, well, it's just sports games that use a creator function or something, right? It's like a PSVR game. We Sing is a microphone game. Like, Shadow Complex is a Metroidvania.
Well, I remember one of the things they said when they first announced the way the PS4 was, or the PS4 backwards compatibility, was that they said some games, for some reason, the load time thing, like with their SSD, was so strong it broke games. And so the idea is maybe these games can't deal with being loaded too fast. Okay. And it just breaks the game entirely.
I could see that.
But I don't know how true that is, for some of these. Like I said, the Afro Samurai 2 thing, I literally heard that they said that this game was so bad that no one wanted to deal with making it PS5 usable.
I don't know. I mean, like, if everything else is PS5 compatible, I'm like, it seems to me like it's just an architecture thing. Like, it's not like they had to do work on all however many thousand PS4 games there are to make them work.
Well, a lot of other people said that even if they aren't, some of them may be patched later. Who knows?
Yeah.
To be usable on it.
Yeah. Let's see.
But it is a weird list.
It's a very strange list. Equally strange is this cat that's in Miles Morales' backpack.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man clip. We got the Spider-Man clip. I saw a thing. Oh, that was weird.
Voice crack there.
I saw a thing. Yeah, I've been yelling at stuff. Where it was like maybe like the outfit at the end that people were mad that his shoes were like Adidas and not Nikes. I swear to God, I saw a headline that was like, people mad because Miles Morales' shoes are wrong in the optional Spider-Verse costume in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I'm just like, guys, this is...
I didn't see that, to be honest.
Better things to worry about than Spider-Man's shoes. Like
some weird shit.
But we got a very brief kind of clip of Spider-Man Miles Morales, like doing, just like a little bit of swing, a little bit of combat.
Yeah.
Rescuing a bodega cat. This is Austin. We don't have bodega cats here.
That we know of.
And then later, he puts the cat in a backpack, puts a little Spider-Man mask on it, and he's going out and he's doing finishing moves with the Spider Cat.
And I fucking love every minute of it. I can't fucking wait for this game to be out less than a month from now.
Yeah. Is this your day one? Is this your day one purchase?
Oh, 100%. I already pre-ordered it, so it's supposed to come. Hopefully it's supposed to come out the same.
Where did you pre-order it?
I pre-ordered it off of Amazon because before I left my old job, they gave me a $50 gift card.
Yeah,
and they also had this like special thing where like if you get enough like praise points or whatever, you can get more Amazon gift cards. And I was like, fuck yeah! And so I got so it only cost me like $15 now out of the $70.
Yeah, I was just thinking, boy, it'd be a real shame if somebody got a hold of your Amazon package and didn't give it to you until you beat Demon Souls, until you got to the end of Demon Souls.
Good luck getting through that. But I'm very, very excited.
It looks good. I mean, it looks like more Spider-Man, and I'm cool with that. My
PS5 is basically just going to be a Spider-Man machine for a while.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to be playing this and then Spider-Man Remastered for the most part.
Definitely look like different shoes. I don't know
what to tell you, yeah.
I don't know. It was a long time ago. Let's see. From there, we're going to talk about the Avengers. We're talking about superheroes. Time to talk about the Avengers. So, Michael, you were actually telling me that you stopped playing the Avengers.
Well, I'm finally soured by. I didn't say I stopped entirely.
Oh,
but I'm finally soured on the entire thing because because here's the thing. So, the Avengers game has 5 villains in it.
Yeah,
you only fight 4.
Yeah,
you only fight 2 of them again.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Okay,
so imagine playing Destiny, but there's only 2 bosses that you can refight over and over again, and there's nothing else you can do, kind of thing. Like you can do like other levels maybe, but like every level is the same. Like I said, it's literally just the 2 villains over and over again. So I finally just was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Like I got the Iron Man skin I wanted, I got the Captain America skins I wanted, and I'm just like, like I don't really care enough to really keep going.
Yes, but Michael, they added new content this week. They added new content to the Avengers this week.
What is it?
It is Shield Substation Zero has a new outpost and a Tachyon Rift missions.
Oof.
And Tachyon Rift missions.
It really needs more bosses is the issue.
Yeah.
Is that because, like I said, like every level's very copy and paste. And the enemy, like I said, I can get through that a lot because, I played a lot of beat 'em ups, which is why it took so long for me to finally be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because even in beat 'em ups, there's bosses for everything. And so you can continue doing that, but there's only the two bosses you fight over and over again. You just fight Abomination and Taskmaster, and fighting the same two guys over and over again gets really boring. Like, I saw a Reddit video before I came over earlier today where the guy was like, what am I going to do today? I'm going to fight Taskmaster, 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 or Taskmaster, because there are 4 fucking Taskmaster missions on his screen. And he's just like, there's nothing. There's literally nothing to do with this fucking thing. And the only other bosses are giant robots. And that gets also old after a while, too.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped. Like, I will go back in a year and see how it is.
Yeah.
I think that game, like, I think if you were to say that Avengers is a $40 game with a pretty good single-player campaign and then, like, a kind of shitty multiplayer campaign, like, I think that's a decent value proposition.
That's the thing, yeah. And I know Crystal Dynamics had came out with a statement, and they're like, yeah, we're losing players, but I'm sure the new content we're going to come out is going to bring it back. And I'm like, is it though?
Yeah, because on the PC they're down to like sub 1,000 players.
It's like really bad how low it is on PC.
Yeah,
apparently console wise, it's still not that bad at the moment, but it could go down at any moment.
But Michael, on the PC they added DLSS to the Avengers.
I don't know what that means.
DLSS is an NVIDIA thing that works on the 2000 and 3000 series. I should show you this video. That's really interesting. DLSS is an AI upscaler that uses the processor on 2000 and 3000 series NVIDIA cards to literally like fill in detail. You know those mods that they've made where it's like they take Final Fantasy VII and then like run it through an AI that like puts detail into the background.
Okay.
It's like that, but it does it on every frame. So like there's a video out there of Death Stranding running at 240p DLSS to 4K. So it's literally like the AI is filling in details frame by frame. And like it doesn't work great, but what it means is that you can render at a lower level but get a sharper picture with a more solid frame rate. It's really fascinating technology. Right now, I like it needs to be a thing that's like right now I think it is in Bright Memory. No, that's what the games that are being added to. Right now it is in Control, Death Stranding, Justice, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
And Minecraft, the Minecraft RTX beta. But basically it's a way to like render things at a slightly lower resolution, but then up the detail level while still running at like 4K 60 FPS as like a workaround.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think.
So, no, but they're adding it to Avengers on the PC.
That'll bring them back.
Well, you also have to have like the best video card there is, and like, are you really using the best video card available at this point to like play the Avengers game?
Yeah, that's I'm doubting that one. Yeah,
like I feel like you'd be playing the Baldur's Gate 3 beta if you had a really good video card right now. Yeah. Speaking though of dwindling player counts, Michael, do you remember when we played Crucible? The Amazon Studios game that we never actually put the video out for because it was so bad.
And it was just like, man, fuck everything. Like, it looked so ugly.
It ran like shit.
It ran like shit no matter what we tried.
Yep.
And it just was boring as fuck.
It was unclear.
We stopped after like, what, 20 minutes at most?
Yep. We tried hard for about 20 minutes because remember that they put it out. We tried to play it. It was garbage. Then they delisted it on Steam to take it back into development. And now it is canceled.
Oh, boy.
So on November 9th, Crucible is going offline. Apparently, if you spend any money in or on Crucible, it will be refunded to you by Amazon.
Good for you,
which
Amazon.
I mean, I don't want to pat Jeff Bezos on the back too hard. Like, you've got enough fucking money that you can give me my fucking money back for the game that you put out that I spent money on. And then, actually, I might have refunded it already. But
I'm pretty sure you did. We stopped pretty much immediately.
Yeah. So there'll be, like, you can't buy anything at this point. And then in a few weeks, they're doing the final play test and community celebration. I kind of wanted to see if I could bust in there just to see what's the last day of a game that's been out for like 4 months and really only available for like 2 weeks before it got taken down off the Steam store. What the fuck is that like?
I don't know. Like the fact that this even happened is really funny to me, to be honest.
I've been endlessly amused at Amazon's flailing attempts to get into gaming, because it's like, bitch, you have the money. Like, you
That's
should
the thing,
just fund a studio that's good. Like, they took that studio that made Killer Instinct and they made them make that Extinction game and just fucking destroyed them.
Yeah.
And then they made this game and it's fucking terrible. And now they're like, we got a Stadia competitor. And I'm like, stop. The only reason anybody gets Amazon Prime Video is because it comes free with Amazon Prime. Your video search algorithm is the worst one. It sucks so bad. Although last week I was looking for a movie on Amazon, and I wanted to watch A Few Good Men, and I was looking for it, and I found it on Amazon. Did you know that IMDb has a streaming service?
No, actually.
It's a free stream with ads, and normally that's bad, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was like, okay, A Few Good Men, what you got? Because like, if you try to watch like Crunchyroll or NBC.com or whatever, it's like, oh, you want to watch an episode of Family Guy on the studio website? It's like, you'll have 4 5-minute ad breaks. I'm like, that's as long as the show.
Jesus Christ.
But for like a 2-hour Few Good Men movie, there were 4 ad breaks.
Mm-hmm.
They were no more than, I think, 85 seconds per.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. I can live with that. The problem is that they're made by AI, so like it would happen like right in the middle of a scene where it had no business. You're just like, oh, okay. The volume goes up and shit. But anyway, pour one out for Crucible. It was bad.
It was. No one was playing it. The end.
Spend your money better. All right, moving on from the dick that is Amazon to the dick in Smash Brothers. Michael, have you seen this story?
I have not.
I'm so excited to tell you. So last week they put Steve from Minecraft in Smash Brothers, right? We know that. All right. So when Steve has the win thing, like one of them is he builds a house and comes out of it. Like one of them is him doing another thing. One of them is him eating a pork chop, and then he like puts his hand down after he eats the pork chop and kind of looks at the camera. Well, because of the way that the swoop happens on the bottom with the people that are in the match with you, let's just say that the windscreen for Steve is somewhat suggestive.
Oh my God.
It appears that Steve has a big dong that's hanging out of his Minecraft pants. I don't know how somebody didn't look at this. Nintendo, do you need an American to just look at everything you do and be like, that's a penis? That's a penis. You should change that. That's a penis. That means a penis.
Yeah, that's
it looks exactly like there's a big penis coming out of his
looks like
pants.
a Minecraft dick.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing that nobody caught this. It just straight up looks like a Minecraft dog.
I hope it stays.
Yeah.
I really do.
I have a feeling they're going to patch it out pretty soon. Amanda and I played a game last night. I'm serious when I say anybody that wants to hire me as the like, okay, English isn't my first language. Should I do this? Amanda and I played the sequel to this game called Remothered last week, and the sequel was called Remothered Broken Porcelain. Now, listen, Broken Porcelain is going to evoke a lot of childish giggles because it makes it sound like your toilet got broken. You need to change it to something else. I don't know what, but you should change it to something else.
I didn't even think about that until you said that.
That's
and
why
then I giggled.
Don't ever use the word dawn in anything. No subtitle should have dawn because, guys, it's just going to be dong. It's just going to be Dong of Justice all over again.
Yep.
Anyway, speaking of dongs, Minecraft Hyrule Warriors got a new trailer where we saw some of the Yiga clan, these big banana-loving ninjas. You didn't even play Breath of the Wild, so I feel like
I didn't. Yeah,
you're not exactly like you're. Do you think that you would be interested in playing the prequel first and then Breath of the Wild instead of in the reverse order?
Shit, that's tempting.
Like doing the Star Wars, like start at the beginning instead of.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah,
maybe
because then you won't have the ending of this game spoiled for you.
Well, I know how it ends.
Yeah.
Well, I know how the calamity thing ends because somebody told me.
Somebody.
What?
Somebody.
Well, because I was asking him about it because I was just like, isn't the whole thing like it's like 100 years after this?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So I was like, isn't this like the Dark Crystal thing where they're like, that's a prequel to the movie? It's like, yeah, but we know what happens at the end to those little bastards.
It's not about the journey, though, Michael. It's about the destination. No, wait. It's not about the destination. It's the,
you fucked that
turn
whole thing up.
turn that one backwards. Turn it backwards. You turn it backwards. Very tired. So we saw that, and let's see. This is a very interesting story. I had segues for everything, but I'm super tired. I was going to say, so Hyrule Warriors is something that you might be pre-ordering from GameStop. In other GameStop news, last week we had a story that apparently Microsoft had teamed up with GameStop, and but that story was that they were going to be putting GameStop on their Microsoft 360 cloud server POS and surfaces for all the checkout. Like this is going to be moving their backbone onto Microsoft's infrastructure.
That's interesting.
It wasn't about GameStop's going to be a Microsoft store, but I don't know who the fuck worked this deal out, but this is a very weird deal. It came out this week that apparently if you buy an Xbox Series X or Series S from GameStop, somehow GameStop is going to get a cut of everything you buy on that console. Any digital purchase for that console will have a certain percentage of it thrown to GameStop if you bought the console at GameStop.
So they have an affiliate status from the Xbox you bought from them?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What?
So you buy an Xbox Series X from GameStop, you bring it home, and then you buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right? We don't know what the percentage is, but some percentage of your money that you gave to the servers will be funneled to GameStop, not to the GameStop directly, but to GameStop as a company.
That's fucking crazy as shit.
Right. So then I started trying to think about what does that mean? And I'm like, oh, that means that this holiday season, when there's going to be a lot of kids that are getting Xboxes, when their mom goes into GameStop, she's like, I need one of the next-gen systems. Which one do you think, regardless of whether the employees see any of this, which I'm sure they're not going to, but you can bet your bippy that the management is going to be like, you fucking sell Xboxes all day, every day.
Fuck me.
Every Xbox is a cash machine for us now that you're just going to keep getting money from as time goes on.
I wonder if the used ones count for that. If they and add them to a system or something.
If somebody had a Best Buy one and they brought it in and traded it in, if they
exactly
have a special firmware they load on it and then give it back.
Or maybe it's the serial number or something. I don't know. I don't know how that even works.
Yeah, I don't know either. There's a lot of questions there. It would have to be the serial number, or I don't know. Maybe they have something that can flash it with some kind of OS image.
I have no idea.
That could keep GameStop in business.
Yeah,
not maybe at the level that they are now, but that
keep them afloat.
It could keep it to the point where there's it could keep them to the point where there's as many, or there's maybe 70% as many GameStops as there are Best Buys in a town, right?
Yeah.
It's not everywhere. It's not next to every fucking store there's a GameStop, but
it used to be.
Yeah,
there used to be GameStops next to GameStops.
But I'm still interested to know God damn, that's a weird
hell of a deal.
That's a weird deal. Microsoft is making deals.
Somebody caught Phil Spector when he was drunk. That's all I'm saying.
I think this is part of Microsoft's using money to basically get back into the game, right?
The only way that makes sense.
Buying
they don't
studios,
actually need the money.
Right. Game Pass, and then this where if you go to a GameStop and you're ambivalent about what console to buy, they're going to pressure you to buy an Xbox.
I kind of like it though, because it's. I feel like Microsoft finally looked at Xbox and was just just have whatever you want. I don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think I would have rather had them I maybe would have been more interested in having a deal where if you buy one of the GameStop branded ones, you get $40 off the MSRP because you're essentially buying a subsidy machine for a retail conglomerate. It's just weird. You don't expect when you buy a fucking Xbox to be supporting GameStop.
It's crazy. I know GameStop was saying they're going to finance their consoles, but this is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So weird. Real weird. In other Xbox news, we learned that you will be able to transfer Xbox 360 cloud saves to the Series X and Series S without gold.
Ooh.
So you don't have to have that to do the cloud saves and transport them. I've actually been seeing a lot. I feel like Microsoft also smartly, I think, has been just sending people Xboxes and then letting them be like, just fucking say whatever you want to. Just say whatever you want to. Here's an Xbox. Play it, because there's no Xbox Series X games out, but I've seen a lot of articles about like, man,
there's a shit ton of YouTubers who got one.
This shit runs Crackdown good, or an older Xbox One game.
Like I hear the load times on it are like minimal.
Yeah,
like it's crazy as shit right now.
Yeah. Well, the opposite of minimal is maximal, and that's what happened when somebody added the Xbox One X to Microsoft Flight Simulator, but building sized in Redmond, Washington, which is pretty good. They actually did a really good job of getting like all the ports are like there's holes on the top of it and everything. It's not just like they actually modeled what the Series X looks like and put it in Microsoft Flight Simulator as this gigantic fucking building. The same modder that did that said they're going to do it with the PlayStation at Sony's headquarters in Japan. They're going to make it building size essentially.
I love the internet. I love you guys so much.
It looks really good. Also, speaking of Crackdown, the developer of Crackdown 2, Ruffian Games, which actually also did Crackdown 3, and then like a bunch of Microsoft shit work, like work on Kinect games or other things, has been purchased by Rockstar and is being converted to be called Rockstar Dundee.
That's such a
yeah.
It's just so stupid to be Dundee.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're Australian or something.
You're gonna put Paul Hogan posters everywhere.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But it's nice to see. It's like I didn't even know the studio existed, or that they were in trouble, or I don't know why you would buy them. I guess it does kind of make sense. Like if you bring in, the people that make Crackdown into Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
I think that there was some speculation in the article that I read that like maybe they'll be like working on Bully 2. Maybe this is like that
could be cool.
Oh, they're gonna make Bully 2, so they just bringing in open world studios basically.
I'm cool with this.
Yeah. In other news about games and game studios that nobody cares about, Harmonix confirmed that your Rock Band music library from the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One will move to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and that the controllers that are compatible with those systems will work on next-gen systems.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot Rock Band 4 existed. Like, outright.
Is that a good sign?
I don't know.
I have the keyboard. And I have all of the instruments somewhere around here. They're probably in the hell closet, but yeah, I've got them all. I mean, Rock Band used to be the thing, right?
It was,
fucking Friday night, let's all go play some Rock Band. Get drunk, play it at my friend's house. That Beatles Rock Band.
I remember that. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, that's why I bought a microphone stand, because I wanted to sing and play the Beatles Rock Band at the same time.
Yeah, I had one somewhere that my brother bought, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
I think he might have taken it.
Yeah. Holy shit! I just realized that Green Day has there was a Green Day Guitar Hero Green Day. Was there one of those?
I wouldn't be surprised. I remember there being a Metallica one and an Aerosmith one.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it wasn't my favorite series, so I didn't really keep up with it.
Yeah,
my friends really loved it, so they might have had it if that was the thing.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's see. Oh man, we're getting there. We're way farther ahead than we normally are at the hour mark of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Yeah, we're going to take a break. I've decided. It is break time. We're going to take a break. We will be back in just a minute with more of the Rage Select Podcast. Stick around. Michael, we're going to try to get through these newses. We still have some newses left. The
newsies?
Yes. I actually have the next news story is probably a name that you haven't heard in quite some time.
Is it Ben Kenobi?
It is not
Obi-Wan
Ben Kenobi.
Kenobi.
Is Ben Kenobi a game developer?
Maybe. I don't know. They all have crazy nicknames nowadays.
What's a prominent game developer that you haven't heard anything from in a long time that was like a big deal like what, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Cliff Basinski?
No. Ken Levine.
Oh, see, you know what's funny? I was thinking that, but I didn't know the guy's name. I just my first thought was BioShock creator.
Yeah,
but the thing was like I don't remember his name, and for some reason Cliff Basinski popped in my head.
Yeah,
but that's the Gears of War guy. Now that I think about it,
Cliffy B is still just being salty about Lawbreakers.
Oh yeah,
that poor bastard. No, so recently there was a producer listed for Ken Levine, because you remember like after they dissolved the BioShock team and like 2K kept Ken Levine and like a small group of programmers on. He wanted to do something else. Apparently they're hiring for a senior producer, and because of the magic of the internet, we have some like details about what's going on. Apparently he's making like a futuristic immersive sci-fi based first-person shooter with RPG elements. So Deus Ex?
I don't know. I'm curious as to what he's been up, because that's the thing, is that everybody's been wondering what he's been up to for a long time.
Yeah. Well, apparently the game that they're working on is at this point kind of in some of the later stages of production. So we might be seeing something relatively soon.
Hopefully. He's been pretty quiet for quite some time.
Yeah, I would like to see something else from them. God damn, am I tired today? Jesus Christ, I can't even like string together a sentence.
That cat surprised you.
Speaking of games that we'll never see, we got an update to Star Citizen.
Oh my God.
Which was basically that they're still not really anywhere near the completion of the single-player Squadron 42 shooter campaign that's supposed to be tacked onto this outer space simulator, and that they're still working on it, and kind of it'll be done when it's done. I realized in reading this article that this game has now been 8 years in development.
8 years and millions of dollars later.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to just bring this up to just do the normal Rage Select poll of like, okay, odds that Star Citizen will actually come out. Do you think it'll actually be released, or will it at some point just run out of money and implode? Is the question.
I think certain parts of it may finally, like besides the beta stuff that they're alpha or whatever they've been doing for a long time, I feel like maybe the cinematic, or not the cinematic, but the campaign may eventually be done.
Right.
But it'll probably be half-assed because they ran out of money.
Right.
And then it will implode.
Well, and then the second question is the percentage that we think that when it does come out, is it going to be like 5 years out of date tech-wise and look like garbage? Kind of.
I think 5 years is being generous.
Yeah,
I honestly think it's. I think by the time it comes out, people are going to be like, none of this works anymore.
I feel like they had this whole thing early on where they were just like, no console could ever be strong enough to handle Star Citizen. Only the PC is sophisticated and powerful enough. And it was like, that was 8 years ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure now's consoles might be able to do it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you could probably put that shit on a console now if you wanted to. So, yeah.
8 years ago in generation game time is a long-ass time.
It really is. It really, really is. Well, eight years ago was, that was like that was right before the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One. That's like 7 years back when they did that.
Yeah, basically. Like the 360 and the PS3 were the thing at that point.
Like you can't run Star Citizen on a PS3, but you could probably run it on a fucking Series X.
Yeah. Like, fuck, guys. That's how long it's been. Fuck me.
I guess as long as you have enough hard drive expansions to take whatever billions of ships they've decided to put in there. From there, in other PC news, Baldur's Gate 3 had an interesting story last week.
I heard about
They're doing some patches. They're pulling patches back out. But one of the things that they did, I don't know, some weird shade from Larian, where they were like, they basically, what did they say? Before the fixes, let's share something you've created yourselves. This is your own fault. Through your choices in character creation, we took the most popular choices in character creation and recreated this. We thought our analytics system wasn't working. We checked, it is. Apparently, like, the amalgam of the most chosen character creation choices in all of Baldur's Gate 3 early access is just like the most generic looking brown haired white guy that's ever existed in a video game. Like human, male, brown hair, medium build, medium height.
I love the tagline for this article, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, well, Larian Studios isn't mad. That's just disappointed.
It really is.
I don't know, man. I can tell you right now that Chris and I played Baldur's Gate 3, and we created a fucking demon lady with face tattoos and called her Bonesaw with purple dreadlocks. So like, I'm trying to be part of the solution over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you create a character in video games, what do you tend to go like regular or like off the deep end, like somewhere in the middle?
Well, I like to try to make them like if depending on what it is, I try to make them look closer to me.
Okay.
And if not, then I try to make them look a little crazier than most.
Okay. Like I don't ever actually play. I don't know if this is a secret on Rage Light. Whenever there's a character creation thing and we create a monster, I did not play Saints Row 4 with Loretta from start to finish when I played Saints Row for the first time. Well, I don't tend to continue using those characters much after we do the videos for them. Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got some more PC news with Call of Duty. I actually didn't know this was a thing, but apparently Call of Duty is now implementing a thing where you can actually uninstall the parts of Call of Duty that you're not using. Apparently, up until now, if you like bought retail Call of Duty and you wanted to play Warzone, you would install Warzone and Operations and like the main story campaign, and you had to have them all installed to play Warzone.
Oh, jeez.
Whereas there's a patch now where you can basically uninstall the parts of Modern Warfare that you're no longer using, which, considering at this point that Modern Warfare is like, I've heard these stories that it's like on the consoles, it's up to like 250 gigs or something like that.
It's massive.
The content. Like, how much? What is there? What is the content?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you can do that. Other things you can do on your PC. This is actually really good. Have you seen this, Michael?
No.
So it's the 60th anniversary of Sega, and Sega is putting 4 games on Steam that by the time you hear this podcast you'll still have time. They're going to be available from yesterday as of this podcast Saturday until tomorrow of this podcast Monday.
Oh, geez.
Like from the 17th to the 19th, you can get these games. After that, you cannot get them. The one that is probably the most interesting is there's basically like a Streets of Rage style Yakuza game with Kiryu and Majima as like the 2 main characters and kind of a retro throwback 8-bit. It's called Streets of Kamurocho.
That's kind of amazing.
Beat 'em up game, which looks pretty fun. Very basic. They also are putting out a thing that is called Golden Axed, which is a single vertical slice demo of a Golden Axe game that was prototyped but never actually finished.
Oh.
So this is like the prototype that they let game journalists play.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. There's another one called Endless Zone, which is a blend of this endless universe with Fantasy Zone, and there's another one called Armor of Heroes, which is in the Company of Heroes franchise. It's like a top-down 4-person tank game.
Oh, okay.
Those both look kind of stupid, but I'm definitely going to play the other 2 because they seem really interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Good for them.
In other Sega news, everybody's favorite hedgehog is now going to be a thing in Fall Guys. Basically, they added a Sonic the Hedgehog skin to Fall Guys. It is a top and a bottom, and you can buy just the top, or you can buy the top and the bottom. It actually looks pretty good on the Fall Guys.
Yeah, actually.
But they had a live stream with 2 dudes in full Sonic outfits playing Fall Guys to kind of like announce this.
That's kind of fun, actually.
Wow, which was pretty fun.
Gotta go fast, guys.
I mean, you still got to buy it with the in-game currency, but I haven't played Fall Guys since that one time that you and I played Fall Guys.
I haven't touched it since then either.
Yeah. Did you get it? Did you like redeem it on the PlayStation?
I did, but I never actually downloaded it to play it.
Okay.
Like I kept meaning to, but it was one of those things where it's like I didn't have enough space at the time.
Okay.
And then I didn't delete anything, and then I got more games that I had to delete space for anyway. So yeah.
Let's see, another next generation news. We got some info about Resident Evil 8, but I think that I'm going to treat this like this information is out there. If you're interested, you should go read it because it literally talks about like what Chris Redfield's role is.
Oh, this whole deal is in this thing?
Yeah, like there's some real, it's from Famitsu, and it's not super in depth. It's not like the whole plot, but I feel like if you want to go into Resident Evil 8 cold, you should probably not get any of this information.
That's fair, yeah.
The one thing I did find was that there's apparently a what do you buy-in guy in the game.
I'm cool with this.
So from there we got some trailers. I think it's funny how yawn-tastical this year's Overwatch Halloween Terror is.
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't really be bothered. I'm not going to reinstall Overwatch to play this. Like, there's some nice... It's just Junkenstein's Revenge. There's some nice skins. But I don't know. I'm kind of over getting skins in Overwatch, so I don't know.
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like every time they do the Halloween thing, I don't care anymore because it's always just Junkenstein.
Right.
Like they've never decided to just make another thing with it.
Yeah.
It's always just do Junkenstein's Revenge over and over again.
Right.
And we've tweaked it here and there, like stuff that you used to do, no longer works for you to get through it, kind of thing. But that's not really all that interesting.
Yeah. It wasn't like the most gripping mode in the first place.
Yeah. Like it was fun. It was a fun thing, side thing at first, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I played it like a dozen times. It's kind of like all the rest of them, right? Lucio Ball is fun for a little while, but not like forever. And there's the Maze Snowball fight, and then the anniversary events where those at least they were making like different, those weird like single player horde based things. But
this is just like it's kind of neat at first, but it's been how long has Overwatch been out?
4 or 5 years.
It's been out for a while. I was working at Target when Overwatch came out.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, that was a long ass time ago.
Yeah. But it's out. If you want to go play it, it's out. Probably more interesting to you is we got a video for Rain. You weren't here last week. Would you like to talk about how you feel about the Combat Pack 2 for Mortal Kombat?
I love the fact that Rain is back.
Okay.
But the second they announced Melina, you were my first thought because this is story time, people. So many years ago when I first met Jeff, I came to one. I think it was the first or second Ragecast.
Yeah.
And he beat my ass with a Melina while he was drunk off his ass.
Yes.
And I desperately tried to beat him. And I just couldn't because Melina has the fucking craziest fucking moves that make her very unpredictable, and it's that much worse when you're fighting someone who's drunk off their ass.
She's got the most irritating teleport moves of any Mortal Kombat character.
She really does.
And I have really internalized don't block, don't roll, teleport. So like if you can pull off the teleport fast enough, then anytime anybody tries to do anything, oops, Melina's up in your face, here's a combo, you're dead.
It was pretty bad, guys.
Was that 10?
Yeah, that was 10.
Was that 10?
Because that was the last thing she was in.
That was when they made Melina with she had like the weird razor blade smile thing instead of like the big monster face.
Yeah, she had it was such a weird design. Like
they wanted her to be sexy.
They did. I've heard people be annoyed by the way she looks now because they liked sexier Melina. But there's a lot of people that are just like, fuck you, this is sexy, Melina.
Man, if you want to get with Melina, you got to put up with that Baraka face, all right? Like
I think one of my favorite memes I've ever seen for it. It was a picture. It was a drawn picture of Johnny Cage smiling, and Melina like goes down on him, and he's like smiling, and then the next panel is him not smiling.
So you are a fan of Rain. I
think Rain is kind of cool. Like the thing about Rain that I always thought was kind of funny. Other than because he's the purple ninja, which of course is a fucking Prince joke,
right?
But a lot of Rain's past experience or past appearances weren't all that water related. For the most part, it was a lot of cloud shit kind of thing. At least in his original stuff, because I didn't use him that much. But I always love when one of the ninjas gets re-added back into the thing.
Okay, like
it's a shame that Ermac isn't among them. Neither is Smoke, but I'm a sucker for the fucking ninjas. I really am.
Yeah, I don't I'm more about the Katana Melina and then the cyborg ninjas, which of course are not in here anymore.
Which is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, because we know they exist and they have a move set.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to fight Sector and Cyrax in the story and they have moves. It's like, what? Do it. Put them in there. Come on.
It was like what happened with Baraka and MKX.
Yeah.
And actually Rain was, I think, a DLC character in the last one too.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting, a lot of more characters and more Mortal Kombat. They're going to add, everything's going to be on PS5 as well.
Yep.
The Rambo thing is still really weird.
It is very strange.
But, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not?
I've had a really good time. All my time with Mortal Kombat 11 has been fun. So more Mortal Kombat 11 is not something I'm ever going to say boo to.
No.
Let's see. We also got, I didn't make Michael watch this before we started. We got a 7-minute long deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. None of this is about combat. It's all just like how the world works, the kind of the story, building your settlement, some nice, some really fancy screenshots, kind of making decisions about like where you go. It looks fine. I just, man, last week I went back and listened to it. I ranted for like 20 minutes about Watch Dogs. They had like 2 new Watch Dogs trailers. It just made me mad because Watch Dogs now looks like just a cybernetic, futuristic neon shoot 'em up. I'll give this one a shot like I gave the last ones a shot. And the question is whether they can get me invested. I'm a little tired of this aesthetic, I guess. I don't know. It's not doing very much for me.
Yeah, the issue I've had with Assassin's Creed is for a very long time. They haven't given me a reason to care about the plot to Assassin's Creed anymore.
Yeah.
Like, as much as people were like, but look at all the cool stuff. It's like, it's not that cool to me anymore. Like, to be honest, like, all of Assassin's Creed used to be this, like, the reason I loved Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, Brotherhood and all those games, is I liked the story of it. Yeah. I wanted to see where it was going to go.
You actually cared about Adam Sandler.
I did, yeah. About Nolan North, Adam Sandler. And then eventually, it ends like in kind of a shitty way, to be honest. And then they just didn't know what to do with it from then on. Like, they kept doing experimental things with their stuff. And eventually I was like, just drop the fucking future storyline to that after a while. Like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter anymore.
I think for me, a lot of it has been that I think that in thinking about it, listening to you talk about it, I think that the kind of thing for me for Assassin's Creed is like, do I like the main character? And that
goes a long way, by the way, guys.
Yeah, like the first one.
That's why they made 3 Ezio games, because people loved him so much.
Right, like Altair is kind of a wet noodle. I don't really give a shit about him. I love Ezio, like everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 2 eyes and a heart, don't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Connor, I didn't really care that much for, but I did like.
He aged a lot better than I thought he would.
The Hathaway from Black Flag, even though I had some problems with him fucking taking off from his family to go yo-ho with a bunch of pirates. And yeah, I mean, like, so a lot of these modern ones, I haven't really cared as much about the character. And, I don't remember what the guy in the first one was. They just seem like very kind of generic protagonists, like, I got to do this for my family or my group or whatever.
Yeah, that's really the main issue with a lot of the newer ones.
So, like, I feel like if there was a really charismatic character, like, I think that's one of the reasons that Unity didn't do anything for me. Is like Arno. What do you remember about Arno?
He was French.
Yeah. Outside of that, do you remember anything about him? Anything? Do you remember why he was doing what he was doing?
His dad was murdered by the guy from Assassin's Creed Rogue, if I remember correctly. That's all I remember, to be honest. Also, there was a Romeo Juliet kind of thing.
You could be right.
I don't even remember. It was a whole thing.
You know what? I kind of liked Syndicate because the twins were kind of interesting,
they were
semi-interesting characters. So I don't know. I look at this and it's just like, you've told me a lot about the world. You've told me a lot about like the mechanics, but like I need to know why I care about Ivor. And I just don't know that I do. I mean, there's a lot going on here, right? There's like, you build this village, you've got shipwrights, you've got like blacksmiths, you've got tattoo artists. There's a hidden, like the assassins have like an office in your village that you can do missions from them for. There's like this lady that gets you high so you could fight like Norse dragons and shit.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. I mean, I bet there's going to be a Nidhogg somewhere in here, like some world serpents. Get some of that Loki. They did say in here that like you'll be able to get legendary items, and one of the things that they talked about was you can get Excalibur, and I'm like, okay,
that's neat. I guess that was kind of the time frame, I think, right?
If you get Excalibur, doesn't that mean that you're like the king of England?
I forgot the line, or else I would say it. The form of government that's chosen by random weaponry given by women in lakes.
Yeah,
it's a bad thing to do.
Yeah. If I went around saying I was an emperor, just become some moistened, binked, lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right. This is one of the few like launch next gen titles coming out. I will probably check it out, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get into it. It's been a long time. Maybe I'll finally get into it, but Ubisoft as a company is just making me sad, and I don't like their games anymore.
I haven't liked an actual full-on Ubisoft game in a long time.
So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? Let's see. From there, we got a trailer for the Darkness in the Capital DLC for Neo 2. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I picked a lot of stories this week, Michael. We're just like, Michael, what are your thoughts about Neo 2?
What are your thoughts of this game? I know for a fact you've never played.
Yes. It's a cool cutscene. It's a cool trailer. There's like a lot of cool shit.
I've always liked the idea of Neo 2. It's just I just never really had the time to get into these things anymore.
Yeah. I definitely would recommend, like, if it comes up on a PS Plus or a sale or something. Like Neo 1 was kind of inscrutable, but Neo 2, like, one of the things about Neo 2 is that there's a lot of information out there on like how do you build a character so that they're good, so you don't end up just accidentally building a shit character and then being like, But
game's impossible.
I'm also always impressed because Neo has a really nice game engine. Like, it looks good.
Yeah,
like the characters look good, the monsters look good, and the particle effects and stuff. Speaking of looking good, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are back. They look great. They're skateboarding around. They got the pizza. They got the theme songs. You got a whole trailer here. And if you want to play them, then you can in Smite, I guess.
It's
if you want.
A weird decision.
Mm-hmm.
But, Smite has been willing to get some weird characters for their stuff.
I bet those Avatar characters did very well for them.
Yeah. And Nickelodeon, also owns the Ninja Turtles now. So, they must have had a nice conversation with them to get the rights for that.
That Nickelodeon Kart Racers game came out last week.
It did?
Yeah. I don't think anybody realized that happened.
I didn't even God.
Yeah.
We just saw the trailer for that long ago.
Yeah, that $40 kart racer with all the people in it. And I looked at it for a while and I was just like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to force myself to play an hour worth of kart racing. But yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming to Smite. I really like whoever did the modeling on them. They look great.
No, they look fantastic.
And they've got like kind of like an old school, more almost semi cell shaded looking ones that look like the cartoons.
Yeah, which I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's just too bad that you have to play a third person MOBA to see them.
It's very strange. It's been a long time since I've liked the Ninja Turtles in something.
We also got
at least.
A Chris Tales trailer. I feel like I'm the only person who is like excited for this weird time travel anime weirdo game.
DuckTales has ruined me because every time I hear something Tales, I want to say woo right after every fucking time.
Yeah, that's why you don't call it Dawn of DuckTales, Dawn of Chris Tales. But yeah, I think this game looks really good. This trailer is really good. They've had demos out for this for a while.
Oh, really?
But I don't even want to play them because I want to go in cold. Like, I don't want to even start it because it's
you want to discover.
Yeah.
And fight and decide. Sorry.
Because it's like this weird kind of anime style. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Indivisible almost.
I can see that. Yeah.
But and it's got the time travel thing. I don't know. I'm a sucker for anything with time travel. So.
And a frog in the top hat.
Yeah.
What can't go wrong?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what will go wrong is that it's been pushed from 2020 to 2021.
Damn you, frog. Damn you.
Yeah. It's funny
because you wouldn't dance for anybody else.
In their statement about it, they basically said like, hey, so we know you guys have watched a trailer and you realize that like every single screen in this entire game has to be done 3 times because there are 3 different time periods to go between.
Didn't even think about that.
So like, we need a little bit more time. So that's going from basically late 2020 to early 2021. So yeah,
it's been happening more and more.
Also, Axiom Verge 2 has been delayed to 2021. We saw that was going to be coming out this year on one of the Nintendo Directs a while back. And they need a little bit more time, so they're pushing it back. I saw the not the headline, but like the first line in the story. So the Korean ratings board has rated the Mass Effect remaster that is like the worst kept secret of all time. this VG247 article just says, just announce it already. November 7th is N7 Day.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably waiting until then to announce it, even though we all know there's going to be a Mass Effect Remastered trilogy.
Well, one of the people tweeted out, they're like, who wants to hang out with us on N7 Day? I'm like, you motherfuckers are planning some shit.
Right. Who wants to live stream some Mass Effect Andromeda?
Oh, Jesus. That poor game.
Yes. In news that's probably closer to your interest, Michael, Guilty Gear Strive is going to be coming in April 2021 to the PS4, PS5, and PC.
Good.
So, yeah, that's the newest one that they're working on?
Yes. I know they've announced for more characters here and there recently, but I'm very excited.
Okay. You can use that Guilty Gear generator that I pulled up 2 weeks back to make some new fight things.
I love fighting games. They're great.
Yeah. Well, especially Arc System Works fighting games. I played, maybe this is a patron. I kind of didn't put it all together in my head. So last week for Patreon, I played Hardcore Uprising with Chris. Do you know that game? It's an Xbox 360 and PS3 game that is technically a Contra game. It's technically a prequel to the original Contra that is made by Arc System Works. So it's an Arc System Works Contra game that is only available on the 360 and the PS3.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. And it's got a mode where like every time it's like you play Contra with like 2 lives and 2 health pips, and then every time you die, you get currency that you can use to upgrade to do another run, but the levels are always the same. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got a story that The Outer Worlds is maybe getting a sequel.
It's going to be called The Outer Limits. Sorry, I had to do it.
I hope so. Apparently, there's some kind of internal rumblings that while they're working on that Avowed game that they announced for Xbox and whatnot, that they're probably in the early production phases of making another Outer Worlds game. After the success of the Outer Worlds, and they're purchased by Microsoft, I would be amazed if that wasn't on deck, and then it's going to be oh man, can you imagine like if in 4 years there's an Outer Worlds 2 and Elder Scrolls 6 and they're both exclusive to the Xbox Series X?
Oh Jesus, I didn't even think about that.
Holy shit. That would be something right there.
They're really going for it, and I'm really excited for that.
Yep. Let's see. We segue not found 404. Apparently the Demon's Souls remake has been listed by a Hungarian retailer in a PS4 version. Now, whether this is a typo or not is I mean, like, I don't think it's a typo because this was listed by let's see, what was the name of the company? It's a Hungarian retailer called Media Market, M-A-R-K-T, which has like a good reputation, isn't fly by night. And they put up Demon's Souls remake for the PlayStation 4 with like PS4 box art. Now it appears to be just the PS5 box art, but it would be interesting if this came to the PS4. I am in no way opposed to the idea of putting every single game they've said is going to be a PS5 launch title out on the PS4.
No, I'm not either.
Like, I don't need it to be an exclusive to feel like I got my money's worth. I don't need like the games to be taken away from somebody else in order for me to feel like I did a good job did a good job. That's a weird way of saying it. I get my value out of a PlayStation 5, right?
Well, it's not like all of a sudden the PS5 version is going to look like shit.
Right.
Because they did that.
Right. The PS5 version is going to look better. It's going to load faster. It's going to be snappier. It's going to have like, a bunch of fucking video walkthroughs built into it and shit. So by all means, put it on the PS4. Put it on the Xbox One. Put it on the fucking Series X.
Yeah,
I don't care if Sony wins. Like, I don't care who wins the console.
I don't get money from this, guys. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah,
we're not sponsored by anybody for that matter.
Yeah. My sense of self is not tied to how good Nintendo does in the next quarter. Like, put it out on everything. Put everything out on everything.
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they don't, but
But yeah, fuck it. I don't care.
Do what you want.
Do what you want, guys. It don't matter. None of this matters.
Yeah. It's a very casually nihilistic podcast this week. we started with nihilistic Monster Hunter, and now we're at nihilistic Demon's Souls.
Exactly. I blame Carl.
Yeah. The Medium, which is that Bluebird team game where you flip between the different worlds.
Oh, yes, the game, not the show.
Yep. Also has a release date. Apparently, it's going to be coming December 10th, so just in time for Christmas, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Fuck
sure,
it.
do whatever.
It's Halloween all the time now.
Yeah.
If it can be Christmas all the time, it can be Halloween all the time too.
I don't think it should be either all the time.
Get a Halloween store in January.
Man, I'm a Thanksgiving stan. I want to be Thanksgiving all the time. It's just about fucking like doing nothing and eating. That's
You
my
can
kind of
though.
holiday.
It's just you can cook turkeys whenever. No one's stopping you.
I've never actually cooked a turkey before.
Weren't you talking about cutting one in half or something?
Yeah. I've assisted in cooking a turkey.
Oh, okay.
But I've never myself gone to the store, purchased a turkey, and then cooked it for myself. Maybe I should start cooking turkeys. I just eat turkeys all year round.
Oh, fuck it.
Summer turkey, winter turkey. I'll be like, hey, you guys want some breakfast tacos? I got turkey, egg, and bacon. There you go.
Got turkey bacon.
Can I give it without the turkey? Be like, no. My breakfast tacos come with turkey. Matt and I mentioned last week on something that we both make good breakfast tacos, and then we started getting ready to throw down with each other, and people in the comments were just like, I want to go to Matt and Jeff's breakfast taco cook-off. Yeah.
I'm sure it would be very exciting.
Good luck. Speaking of stuff that Matt likes, Genshin Impact is getting an expansion,
Already?
Dragon Spine, yes, in December. So apparently that's one of the big things that's coming to Genshin Impact.
It'll have Donkey Kong in it, so they can say Kong again.
There you go. Apparently I also read a thing where at some point they're going to try to put out a thing to let you remap the controls, which I don't think I'm going to try that game even if that happens.
I'm sure it's fine.
I think that I've come to a point where, no matter how good a game is, if everybody yells at you about it, I think I'll be playing something else.
Honestly, it's a free game. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like if you guys like it, that's cool because it's free for the most part. But I'm gonna be playing Spider-Man, so
There's a lot of games.
yeah, there's a lot of games.
So, all right. Speaking of horrifying terrors, this is a really interesting story. So apparently, a guy, a modder, has gotten Bloodborne working on a PS4 Pro running at 60 frames per second. So one of the big things about Bloodborne was that it didn't run at 60 FPS. Now, apparently, you can, but it's on the same engine as Dark Souls 3, which did run at 60 FPS. And apparently, you can do some tuning to jack it up to 60 FPS, but then everything gets twice as fast. So you can make it run twice as fast, but then you have to go in and slow down all of the combat animations and stuff. There's all this technical stuff that has to happen.
Yeah.
They talked about the physics on the cloaks and hats and shit has to be tweaked, or else it'll all just get super flashy.
Insane.
Yeah. And apparently they also had to drop the resolution to 720p in order to make that happen because it just wouldn't run at full 1080.
Oh, okay.
But that's not where it ends. Is apparently the guy that made this was like, yes, I made it. Look at this video of it happening. And then he said that he will release that mod to the wild if Sony doesn't make enhancements on the PS5 to Bloodborne to get it running at 60 FPS.
Oh, okay.
Which seems like a really weird thing. I don't think anybody cares about fixing Bloodborne.
It's a weird threat. Yeah.
Yeah, From Software's got a bunch of other shit on their mind, and I don't think Sony gives a shit. So,
That's just a shame.
Yeah, because this is one of those games like we were talking about before, where if you make it run faster, it literally breaks the game code because the timing of the attacks in the game code is based on the frame rate. So. Let's see. All of my final stories are Dark Souls related. So
Of course they are.
In other Dark Souls relation, some of the biggest modders in the Dark Souls community are basically going to try to create a sequel to Dark Souls. So
I built my own Dark Souls.
yeah. Grimruck, the person who made Daughters of Ash and Eintunes and Meow Meritus, Dane Zully, and other people, these are all Dark Souls modders and stuff, are basically going to take all of the assets from Dark Souls and then try to build a new game. With tweaked combat, but using all of the assets that were in the original Dark Souls to build new levels, new geometry, and stuff. Which is interesting because I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Daughters of Ash mod.
Oh, okay.
That changes the locations of everything and adds new mechanics like rings that do different things to the game. So yeah, there's no release date plan. They just basically announced it. They do have a Patreon. I looked at their Patreon earlier today. They have 4 patrons. So I don't know. Maybe go support those guys.
I'm sure they'll get a bunch more after once all this stuff comes out.
Yeah,
maybe cease and desist. Who knows?
A tech demo. I don't know. There's been a lot of Dark Souls modding, and I feel like it hasn't. As long as they don't go to sell it, right? As long as they don't, like, sell it on Steam.
I don't know. It really depends on what you're doing. As the thing, or actually, it really depends on the company more than anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
From doesn't seem like they're super.
They seem to just be like, do what you want with it.
Yeah,
it keeps it lets people buy more of their stuff because you need all that stuff to run it for the most part.
Absolutely. And last but not least, I was really enjoyed this. A Dark Souls streamer rigged up this system where basically it sprays fake blood into his face when he's playing Dark Souls based on what happens in the game. And there were two modes. One mode was basically anytime that he died, it would spray the blood in his face, and that was called easy mode.
Yeah.
The other mode was every time he got hit, it would spray him in the face, which really doesn't work very well with some of these super aggressive. This is like level 1 of Dark Souls 3.
Oh my God, he's drenched in it.
Yeah. Because they have these combo attacks that hit you like 8 times, and every time it's just like spraying him in the face with fake blood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Somebody linked this to me and they were like, next Rage Cast? And I'm like, no.
That'd be kind of amazing, though.
I don't. It looks fucking awful. It looks terrifying. So, it's pretty fun.
The issue is it's pointed directly at his face, basically.
I should definitely say who this is so that people can go look him up on YouTube. This is Big Secret Builds. So
good for him.
You can go check it out. And you know what? I think we have some time.
Yeah.
We have some time left for questions. So okay. You've been around here for a long time. Since the pandemic started, is it just that there's more news? Am I putting more stories in than I used to, or are we talking more about every story than we used to?
No, there has been more stories.
Okay.
Because there were whole times where there were only a little bit of stories,
yeah.
But then we talked too much kind of thing, or this is literally just there has been too many stories.
Right. That's what I feel like. I feel like we've been talking the normal amount, but there's
like, hell, I brought up a story that technically when we started about what was going on with those YouTubers, like it's constantly happening.
Yeah.
There's consistently news.
We didn't even talk about, I forgot that, like, 505 basically said, like, hey, we're not doing any more updates for Indivisible, including all the backer stretch goals that were part of the crowdfunding for it. That. There was a story last week that I read about EVE Online that I'm really close to actually playing EVE Online, where, like, there's that EVE Online is one server, and, like, one of the biggest factions is called the Goon Squad, or the Goon something, and this new faction has started to basically try to beat them. And so while the goons have fewer people, they have like higher level equipment, and then this new faction has just like anybody that wants to join could totally join our side. And they did a thing where they brought in a space station to try to establish it as a forward beachhead on the goon front, and they blew up that space station, but it was a feint for a second station that was being built. And it started with a 12-hour fight, which was the biggest fight in EVE Online history. And I was just reading it like, I have got to start playing this game, where like they started sending in stealth bombers, but they had the space station had automated defenses, but the stealth bombers were getting through the automated defenses. So then the other side had to task individual players to try to shoot down the torpedo missiles one at a time as they were coming in manually.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, and they managed to blow up the station, but at like an enormous cost. And I'm just like, I got to start playing EVE Online, but it looks really boring when you actually play it.
That's the thing with that. Every time you hear something about EVE Online, you're like, man, that sounds amazing. But then when you actually try it, you're like, man, I don't want to do any of this.
Right. Then you play Spreadsheet, the game, and you're just like, fuck.
But you hear some insane fucking shit when it comes to EVE Online consistently.
Yes.
Like there are spies and shit into different guilds. It's ridiculous, guys.
Like in real life.
Yeah, in real life.
Like, not like hit the spy button, but like that somebody
join a different like group to spy on them to get their shit and then blow up their shit. Like, it's crazy.
There was that one story.
It was like over like years, apparently.
There was that one story about that guy that collected money to build one of like the super dreadnoughts for like real world money from real world people for like 2 years, and then just fucking stole it and disappeared off the internet. And it was like $3,000 or something. And I'm just like, that's not a lot of money, but like, damn, man, like
it's like, what the fuck, guys?
people got their actual money stolen. Anyway, I tell you what, let's try to get through some of these because we haven't been doing questions a lot recently.
Yeah.
So let's try them. Vanish Knight writes in, and by the way, some of these questions are going to be quite old because
it's been a while.
It's been a while. Writes in and says, "Hello, Jeff and Michael. Instead of naming the new Xbox console Series X and Series S, he wrote Series X and Series X, but Series X and Series S. What would you name the new Xbox consoles? Here are some of my suggestions below: the Apex, the Aster X, the Climax, the HyperX, the Starbox, the Torpex, X-Core, X-Force, X-Lord, X-Ray, Explicit, Explode, Expo, Exposure, Extreme, Extraordinary, and then just Triple X. Just thinking, and that's from Vanish
I like
Knight.
that last one.
Yeah, just Triple X.
Yeah,
just call it the Vin Diesel.
exactly. Call it the Dick Riddick.
Didn't Vin Diesel put out like an album like
He did
3 weeks ago or something?
Very recently, yeah. Put out something. I think it was either a song or I don't know, something crazy.
The last person in the world that I would think that would have a singing career would be
and I heard it wasn't that bad. Apparently, I didn't listen to it myself, but yeah. Apparently, he wants to make more Riddick films. Somebody said that.
Ignore the third one and keep going from the second one. I wanted to see what happened with the fucking necromongers.
Okay.
So what would you name? Okay, you are now in charge of straightening out the horse shit that is Microsoft's naming convention. You have had the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One, and the Xbox One X. You guys have got to stop putting the number 1 and the letter X in the titles. It's already called the Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox X is not a thing.
Well, it just needs to fulfill its destiny.
Okay.
And be the Xbox 720.
The Xbox 720 is not bad. The Xbox Destiny is not bad.
No, it's not actually, now that I said it out loud.
You could just slap some shit on there. Like, whatever the subtitle is that you put on is probably how people are going to refer to it.
Yeah.
Since the first letter for the first word has already been used for 5 other SKUs.
Well, it's difficult not to call it the Xbox Sex right now because of the Series X.
The Sex Box?
Yeah, the Sex Box. That's what's going on right now.
What about like the Xbox Next?
The next Xbox?
The Next Box.
Next Box, yeah.
Yeah, the Xbox Next. Was that one of the ones that he said? He took all the good ones. He took all the good ones. I mean, I call it the Xbox. I would just say
call it the Xbox Manifest Destiny.
You could just walk up to the console wars and fucking put your dick on the table and be like, "It's the Xbox 6.
The Bill Gates.
We're calling this the Xbox 6. That's what it's going to be."
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh yeah, you go PlayStation 5. We got the Xbox 6, so that's what it is.
It's way better. It'll trick all the moms.
The Xbox 9000.
I'd be cool with that. Somewhere 9,000.
Yeah. But then they could have. Wait, we have to have something that's able to have 2 different SKUs though, right? Because you have the S and the X.
I guess that's true.
Also, of all the letters to pick, the one letter that sounds the most like X. There's only one other letter that sounds so much like X, and you picked it. It's like you literally made your product title into a tongue twister.
I still think Destiny and Manifest Destiny would be good.
The Xbox Destiny and the Xbox Manifest Destiny. It could be 2 words. That's too long.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, it'd be called the XMD, which is the. That doesn't work.
Isn't that just another company?
I think it was something.
The XMD is an actual thing.
It's not,
I think it's the name of a company.
It's not PSP games. Those are UMDs.
I think it has something to do with PC. I don't know.
What about like Xbox Future or like Xbox Tomorrow or like just something that says like, hey, this is the new shit, right? Like, what about like Xbox Diamond and Xbox Pearl?
To go full on Pokemon names with it.
Just call it Xbox Black and Xbox White. Xbox Switch Black and Xbox Switch White.
The Xbox Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah.
And Green.
Yeah. Call it the Xbox PlayStation.
The PlayStation box.
The Xbox PlayStation 6. And then you just like, I want a PlayStation 6. I'm sorry, did you mean you want the Microsoft Xbox PlayStation 6 or the Sony PlayStation 5?
That's definitely what they should do. Just fucking go for it.
Switch.
Steal names.
The Xbox PlayStation
Xbox
6 Switch U Turbo Ultra
Championship Edition.
You can call it the Xbox Ultra. You know, there's a lot of different words.
There's a lot of names, yeah. That you would know is a different console.
It's because they did that 360 thing where they were just too. I personally think they should.
I still don't know why they called it that.
Because the PlayStation was the PlayStation 3, and if they called it the Xbox 2, it would be one less than the PlayStation 3. I swear to God,
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
That's got to be what they were thinking, right? Like, yeah.
Like, what's bigger than 360?
That's right. Like, well, what?
Jim, you're a genius.
Does it turn around? Like, no. Is it the same, like, backwards? What about it is 360? Like 360.
It's like, is it at least like a 360 shaped console?
Nope. No.
Still a rectangle.
Is it a circle? Nope.
Nope.
Yep. Did the discs do something special? Nope.
Even when it dies, it's not a full circle.
Nope. Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's see. Marcus writes in and says, "What up, Jeff and Michael, Masters of Rage, acolytes of Don Cleese? 2 quick questions for you all. One, name a time a random stranger did a kind act for you. 2, name a time you did a kind act for a random stranger. Thanks for all the content you provide. It keeps me happy, laughing, and entertained in these trying times, which is why I remain a loyal Patreon member. Look forward to Rage Select Patreon specials, Jeff versus Beer, Jeff versus Xbox One controller, and the finale, Jeff versus Karen, the last store manager." And Don Cleese's name, Marcus. Yeah, I don't really truck with Karens. I don't go anywhere where the Karens congregate.
Where they run free.
Yeah, I don't go to the free range Karen area, which is called the Domain. It's by my house.
That's true.
They're
everywhere.
Yeah. Nobody's ever asked to talk to my manager on Rage Select. I guess they all realize. I keep waiting for the day when an angry parent emails me to be like, "I found my little Timmy watching your foul fucking YouTube channel. What is your sir? Account for yourself." And I would just be like, I don't know.
I kind of want that to happen now.
I mean, what? This is not my fault. This is not my fault.
I caught little Timmy watching it, and the next day he was doing drugs. It's like, what?
Like, cool. You're welcome.
He's talking about his dong. I don't really know.
Yep.
It's like, okay, then.
Yep.
That probably has nothing, really, most of that has nothing to do with this.
I feel
the dong
like,
thing probably, though.
I feel like, who else is using the word dong as much as we are at this point? I don't think anybody is.
I don't think of anybody either.
I've never heard porn talk about, give me that hot dong.
I think it's just the memes. There are memes that still do it.
Okay.
Like the my dong is expanded meme.
Okay.
The weird Donkey Kong face, and then they take the letters and they make it say that. That is a thing. It's an actual meme.
Okay. When was the last time a random stranger did something nice for you?
Before the pandemic, I guess. I don't know. Like I tend to just do random nice shit for people.
Yeah.
All the time. And then like the thing that I can be like, oh, this is exactly what I've done, because I just randomly do shit all the time like that. But it's never really been like random strangers, I guess. At least not in a while.
Like, I haven't been near any strangers in a long time.
Like, even the last person that I know for a fact that did something super, like, ridiculously nice for me. He wasn't a random stranger. Like, he was a coworker at Target that I worked when I was working. He was a retired teacher, a retired college professor, actually. He was literally working at Target because he had nothing better to do. That's literally what he told me.
I'm bored. I work at Target?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm bored. I haven't been working out. I was like, stocking. It's like, that's a weird thing to do.
All right.
He gave me $600 because I needed to fix my car at the time, which if you remember that terrible piece of shit.
Yeah.
He gave me. I actually ended up not using it to fix the car, which makes it sound like I spent it on something. But what I actually used it on was I used it to move to Austin because it was enough to pay off, the deposit. It was enough to pay off the turning on the electricity and everything else. And it was such a randomly nice thing to do to somebody he only knew for like maybe 2 weeks at most.
Yeah.
And he straight up told me, you don't have to pay me back literally in any way, like at all.
Interesting.
And like his name was Pete. Pete King was his name. I haven't seen him since I left Target. But he was such a great guy. And I keep meaning to email him because he gave me his email, but I don't know what I do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on my old phone, one of my old phones. So I'll need to see if I can find that. But he was, it was the nicest fucking thing anybody's ever done for me. Like it just randomly. Like, especially someone, like I said, that I didn't know that well to begin with. I've done a lot of random nice things, but it tends to be for people I know. Like I gave a friend of ours, Carlos Campos, I gave him my extra $20.99 jacket just because, he wanted it and I had an extra one, and he had been going through a very rough point in his life at that point, and I thought it would cheer him up, and I just did it because fuck it.
You know what? I think I'm trying to rack my brain. I mean, I'm the easy answer for me about the last time that somebody did something see, I don't know about strangers. Yeah, it's hard to think of a stranger.
Strangers, especially like actual like full on things that you would remember, because a lot of the things whenever you do something really nice for a stranger, it's a lot of just like hold something open for them, help them out.
Right.
Like it's never anything that's just like that is actually all that memorable to you. Like, sure, it probably is to them because you did something nice for them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't pop in my head that often.
Yeah.
Because it's just what I do.
I think it was so long ago. I don't know. I'm sure that there's some example of nice things that I've done for strangers that I either don't attribute to be nice things or don't remember because of doing things. I do remember though, it was like years ago. I remember that I was really drunk and I was coming home from the bar and I went through the drive-thru at McDonald's, and there were like these two dogs that were just like in the drive-thru, and I was like, okay, dogs, get in my car. And they were all just like, okay, and they got my car. And then I found their tags and called their owner. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, met him at like a Walgreens parking lot. And he was just like, oh, thank you. And I was like, what, man, I'm just going to let a dog fucking wander around in the middle of the night. I'm trying to think of the last time an actual stranger, though, did something nice for me. Austin's a strange town.
That's the thing.
It's not super friendly. They're friendly people here, but not a lot of like random generosity acts.
Honestly, like a lot of my favorite random generosity acts involve batshit insane things.
Yeah,
like when I was at the Porsche, I was at the fuck was it? The Hideout.
Yeah,
years ago. It was because I was reading Jason's book on my phone. And the reason I say it's batshit insane is because this guy just randomly offered me cocaine.
Oh.
And I'm just like, well, that's a random act of kindness, but not exactly the one that you want to hear about. And I'm not saying I did the coke either, but like it's just what it is. Like that's how the city is. It's like even when there is a random act of kindness to yourself,
it
tends to not be the normal random act of kindness.
I'm thinking there was a long probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago at this point. Somebody threw me a birthday party at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
That was like, it wasn't a stranger by any stretch of the imagination, but it was an incredibly nice thing to do that like kind of paralyzed me to no end because I do not know how to react when people are nice to me. It doesn't, I'm just like, what are you doing? I don't understand. What is this? Is this like a show?
It did catch you off guard, yeah.
Is this like a grift? I don't get it. It was a little bit. I think I've told the story before. It was a little bit ruined where that person was like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Are you going? Because this is like back when I used to go to the Nomad on like every Friday night. And they're like, "What are you doing? You going to the Nomad?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm pretty tired. I mean, like it's my birthday, and I was just tired out and stuff." And they're like, I really think you should go to the bar tonight. And I was like, I'm thinking of just watching Netflix and fucking drinking a 6-pack. They're like, all right, listen, come to the bar. And seriously, fucking just shut up and get over here. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I get you.
Yeah. I remember that night very well because I was the only one not drunk that night.
Yeah.
But the thing I remember the most was you getting into a chugging contest with Bill with the gravy from Jim's.
Oh, yeah, the Jim's gravy?
Yeah.
Sure.
Into a chugging contest with Bill.
Bill?
Yeah, Billy. Or Bill.
Okay.
He likes to be called Bill now.
Yeah.
That's just right. I said Bill.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, I remember that night. I had it recorded somewhere. I don't know what I did with it.
Don't ever. I'll kill you. You know what? As a stranger to me now, because we're no longer friends, you can do me a random act of kindness by deleting that off of your phone, and then I can do a.
It's not on my phone. I think it's on Facebook somewhere.
Oh Jesus!
Like, but I think it's on I think it's on the group she made to get us there to begin with, and I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore.
Do you know Facebook has done this thing where people that made the Facebook groups, and they're so old that Facebook has just started offering me admin status on any group that I'm willing to take.
Oh, seriously?
Take on. So I'm pretty sure this wasn't it's not a secret or anything. I'm pretty sure we talked about this. Jason had his birthday a long time ago where he rented a cabin in the woods and watched horror movies and got drunk and shit. And there was a Facebook group for it. It was going to be a surprise for him. And so it was there to coordinate. I think Allison made it. And so last week, Facebook was like, hey, do you want to be admin of this? And I'm like, no, this event happened like 3 or 4 years ago.
Quite some time ago.
I don't need the contact information of the people in this group.
Facebook is weird.
Facebook is really weird. All right, Music Mondays writes in and says, Dear Food Coma, Regret, and Guest. I guess I'm Food Coma, Regret.
I assume.
I've been through this rodeo many times with new console releases and how the shit show usually ensues with it. Short orders, price gouging, YouTube, people buying them up to run pranks by breaking it in front of a crowd, etc. Then you have the worst offender of them all, Apple selling something and 4 months later reveal the same product, only newer and more bullshit expensive. Relating my question to this, knowing that the two things already happened with the new console purchase rush for the average Joe wanting to get either an Xbox or a PS5, how long do you think someone should just wait out this rush to get a new console? Thanks and have a great day. And that is from Music Mondays. We can talk about reasonable answers, but the answer is as long as you can.
Yeah, really, to be honest.
The longer you wait, the more your experience will be polished, the less you'll pay for the hardware, the more games will be out that you can play. The only reason to get something new is because you're super excited and want it,
and you're just anxious,
right?
Kind of thing. That's why I'm decided to get the PS5. I was really anxious because I didn't buy my PS4 until way after the fact.
Yeah,
because when the PS4 came out, it didn't have a lot on it. I bought it when Arkham Knight came out because there was an Arkham Knight bundle, which was a year or two into its life cycle.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. I almost bought the Arkham Knight Special Edition, but I missed it by a day because by the time I got the money for it, literally the day I decided to buy it, somebody bought it the day prior. I was really pissed, but I ended up not keeping that version anyways because I bought the Pro later on. But that was the thing. It's by the time I got it, there was a shit ton of games on it by that point. I was really, really happy with how long I waited for it. And honestly, in my experience, minimum a year.
Yeah.
Is a great time to wait because by then, there may be another version that gets announced. A good chunk of games will probably already be out by that point.
Also, a year is I don't know if this is something that occurs to most people, but a year is a good amount of time to wait and see if hardware problems, congenital hardware problems with the first gen start to pop up, right?
Yeah. I'm risking it with getting one first day, and I haven't done that in ages.
I don't know. Did you watch that PS5 teardown video last week?
I did.
See that fucking fan in there?
The thing is massive.
That monster fan?
Just the size of that dude's torso.
Yeah. The console, yeah. And then they got all the way down to the fan, and it was just good God.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many things that happen with first gen consoles, the first wave of them.
Yeah.
The 360s, they started dying. The PS3s were dying.
Yep.
PS2s had a lot of issues when they first came out. So did some of the Xboxes. The hell, the Wii.
My PS1, we had to run it upside down because it had there was an issue with some of the drives where it would rub because it was off base, and so if you turned it upside down, it would kind of just gravitate towards the top. So we literally would have to put in the disc, turn on the PlayStation, and flip the whole thing upside down, or else it wouldn't read.
Yeah, consoles are weird that way. And they're one of the few things that in existence that will come out that you're expecting something to break on them right away.
Yeah.
Like you're just waiting for it. Like honestly, I'm buying this PS5, and I'm waiting for something fucked up to happen to it. I'm waiting for Sony to come out with a statement just to be like, yeah, we know that the PlayStation just randomly combust.
Yeah.
Like it's just the thing. It's fine. Just send it in. Like just stupid shit like that. Because it's just what it is. Like I am excited to get my PS5, but I'm also dreading whatever fucked up thing is going to happen with it.
I think I mean, like, I was thinking there was a Joy-Con drift. Right?
Yeah,
that was
Joy-Con drift is a big one.
Some even the handhelds have had some stuff, but I don't think that any have been as bad as the 360s. The 360s were just like
the 360s. PS3 had a lot of really bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak from personal experience, but I had first gen PS3. That lasted for 2.5 years, I think, before it finally yellow light of death. But man, those first gen Xbox 360s, you just heard horror stories.
Yeah, they
them.
died like fast.
Yeah,
like I knew somebody who went through like 2 or 3 of them, kind of thing. Mine, I got lucky because mine didn't die for like 4 years.
Yeah,
and then I got another one, and then that one I still have to this day, which I haven't touched in a while. And I might be tempting the fates if I turn it on again.
I would say, I would say 6 months to avoid the rush. I'm sure they'll be back in stock, like generally after 6 months. A year if you want to watch for initial growing pains, and then after that, just like infinity, as much time as you can wait.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, we've talked a lot of times before in this podcast about like if you didn't have a PlayStation, you were to buy a PS4 now. Like just the catalog of games that would be available to you,
absolutely,
would be amazing. So, I tell you what, let's see. We got a little bit more time. Let's do a couple of Discord questions. Fabio Mama, you've had this gigantic question in here, and I'm not going to read it. Let's see. I don't remember if I've had this one before. Let's skip some of these. Inner Slicey says, hey, Jeff and Michael, what are some of your favorite game over screens? Ones that always stick out to me. One that sticks out to me is from the show Reboot. And one of the game overs, the villain hexadecimal taxidermies the heroes and puts them on display.
I forgot about that. I have that game too.
Reboot. So the game.
Yeah, it was an old PS1 game.
Okay. I mean, I remember the show, but I don't remember the game.
Yeah, it's not a very good game, to be honest. But it's just this little, you float around, have the gun, shoot some stuff. It's very hard.
I don't know if anybody remembers the Ninja Gaiden arcade game Continue screen where the big saw blade is coming down to his chest and he's shaking his head, and it's like very detailed. It's like super detailed.
Yeah, that one's really good. I'm a big fan of the Final Fight ones because especially the first one, because they're tied up and they're
with the
dynamite, trying to blow it out.
Yeah,
it's like oh god,
Street Fighter had the beat up character there that was pretty good.
I know the Donkey Kong ones are always pretty dark.
It's kind of hard to think of anything in the modern day though, right? Because most games don't have game over screens.
For the most part, a lot of them don't the way they used to.
Like I just got done recording an old PS1 game for the Asylum, and I forgot it's like on the PS1, it's like you have to manually save.
Yeah.
And if you die, it literally resets the game back to like the opening screen, and you have to hit the start button, go to load game, hit the load game button. I'm trying to think of any others. What was does Mortal Kombat have a continue screen? I don't remember that having an interesting continue screen.
No, it's just like, at least the new ones, they're just hit continue. Like it's usually just you lost, and then it's the person at the end, and then it's continue.
It's mostly
Mortal Kombat. The original Mortal Kombat's had some kind of fun ones. I know Mortal Kombat 4 was one of my favorites of the Mortal Kombats because it's just the character continuously falling down a well.
Oh.
And then if you don't hit continue, they just hit the ground.
Splatter.
They just fucking explode.
Yeah, I think it's mostly arcade games that you would find this on, right? Because like they're trying to get you to put in another quarter.
Yeah, they're like, fucking come on, bud. Like everybody's dying.
Yeah.
Help. Like that's why some of them were so dark. Because you're just like, they're literally like, if you don't continue, this motherfucker is dead. It's like, oh shit.
I'm trying to think if they did did Capcom do a lot of for the other stuff like Captain Commando or the Aliens vs Predator. I don't remember anything being as iconic as the final fight.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played some of those for their game over screens.
Yeah,
because a lot of those games that when they do releases are infinite continues.
Yeah,
so it makes it a lot more difficult to figure out what you're going to be doing.
Let's see, Vice. Here's a Vice article. I don't know if any of these really make a difference though. Missile Command, House of the Dead, Paperboy.
Oh yeah, the Paperboy one's great because he's just like, fuck this, I'm out, that kind of thing.
This Jackie Chan game with Jackie Chan just like, I don't know.
Game over, yo.
Yep. I don't.
Oh, Earthbound's fucking game over. It's really sad.
Oh yeah,
because it's one of those ones where hey, if you give up, the world's fucked. So you're like, I guess I'm not gonna give up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the crew. Well, that's the ending of some of those.
Yeah, I don't know. These don't. A lot of these.
Oh, I'm a big fan of You Are Dead.
Yeah,
that is a great game over screen. The same with let's see, there's the Final Fight one.
Yeah, there's Ninja Gaiden.
I honestly, I think Dark Souls it's not a game over per se, but I think Dark Souls is a great, just you've died.
Okay, I could say that that's an interesting one. That's number one on this Vice list is it's pretty iconic when you die in Metal Gear.
Yeah,
and it's always some different version of
always somebody yelling for you.
I guess it's what is it? It's 1, right, that does that. 2 does it a little bit.
It does it here and there, but not as much.
Does 3 yell? I don't think 3 yells. Does it?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I played 3 all the way through.
Was it?
Although my favorite one,
Time Paradox, right?
No, because if you die, there is a normal game over. But if there is a fun game over, which is the Time Paradox ones,
right?
Where if you try to kill Ocelot.
Oh, right.
And so the Colonel comes over the thing, and he goes, basically telling you fucked up the timeline. And you're just like, whoa, I forgot about that.
or if you use the fake death pill and it goes to the game over screen.
Oh, yeah.
And it says Time Paradox, but then if you use the revival tooth, it just goes and all goes away, and then you get to go back in. Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 1 has one of my favorite game over screens to this day.
I mean, anybody who's ever played Metal Gear Solid 1 will not be able at this point to not be hearing Otacon yelling Snake in their head.
Or any of the other supporting casts.
What's wrong? Snake! Let's see. Kate Josie writes in and says, hello, Jeff and Michael. I recently watched Dark Phoenix, Birds of Prey, and the Harley Quinn cartoon. That's a real mixed bag you got right
what
there.
The fuck?
Aside from Harley Quinn, why weren't DC and Fox going at Marvel's throat for my dollar? I know Fox is in the middle of being absorbed by the blob called Disney, but what's DC's excuse? Also, Harley Quinn is a great show, and I want more, and that is from Kate Josie. So,
fucking God, they renewed that thing.
Dark Phoenix. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the X-Men.
I don't know either.
If you add up all the X-Men movies, there's most of them are bad, right?
About 90% of them are bad.
Because 1 and 2 are fine, 3 is bad, First Class is good. The one after that is okay.
Was that Days of Future Past?
Is that Days of Future Past?
Yeah, it was actually.
Days of Future Past. Well, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I like that one actually.
Apocalypse was a steamy
really bad
pile, and then Dark Phoenix. Did you watch Dark Phoenix?
No, because everyone told me it was so bad.
It was
and we didn't even bring up X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Well, if we want to roll Wolverine in here, then you got X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then you've got
Logan's really good though.
Logan, but then you also have
the Wolverine,
which
is okay. Except for the terrible fucking thing they did with Silver Samurai.
Well, I was more upset about the fact that he slashes 1 million Yakuzas with his metal claws, and there is not a drop of blood in that entire film.
Well, there is a rated R version of it that adds a little bit to it.
Okay,
but which is why I think it's okay.
And then I'm not a fan of Birds of Prey. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but I felt like everybody else, I just didn't. They were kind of flat to me.
Well, the issue is it's called the Birds of Prey, but the Birds of Prey don't really do anything.
Right.
They're just kind of there. You forget and they look nothing like who they're supposed to for the most part.
Yeah.
So you don't even know they're supposed to be those people.
Right, because Renee Montoya is in there, and I know that in the comics she eventually becomes the Question, right?
Yeah.
but like she's not the question in that movie. She's just like
random person,
just a cop. She's just a fucking like mean cop, and like Huntress is in there, but she's just socially awkward, and I'm like, what? I don't get it.
I think Canary is the closest to her, and that's even
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
She's good in that, sure, but
I think
poor Cassandra.
I think so. The question is, what's DC's excuse? And I think that you have the two most qualified Rage Select people here to answer this.
Oh, yes,
because I believe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Michael, that DC's excuse is that I don't know how this has happened, but for like 2 decades now, I feel like DC has no fucking idea what they're doing with anything. Movies, comics, like they get some right, but you know, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't.
I feel like they like the Snyder movies devalued their own properties to the point where they're just like, some guy's like, hey, I want to make a Shazam kids movie, and they're like, fine, it couldn't be any worse than what's happening already. And the guy's like, I want to make fucking Robert De Niro Taxi Driver Joker, and they're just like, the Hangover guy should go for it, man. I don't even give a shit anymore. Like,
no, it's true. Like every time you look at any giant comic book storyline, it's like, whose fucking idea was this? And they're like, I don't know. Like, was it that guy's? Like, just Dan's? I have no fucking idea. Like like recently, you know, Dark Knight Metals is a great thing I can point at. Like, sure, I like Scott Snyder, but you look at Dark Knight Metals and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, what were you guys smoking when you created this entire thing? And they're coming out. They were trying to plan this huge event called 5G. That was supposed to be...
Wait, let me guess. QAnon started tearing down the towers because they give you coronavirus.
God, that would have been amazing. No, but yeah, what it was is it was supposed to be this plan to be like it's the 5th generation of like they wanted to age up all the superheroes.
Oh, right.
And have their kids take over. Mm-hmm. And then Dan Didio got fired when AT&T bought them, and now they're like, well, what are we going to do now? I was like, well, it's just going to be this small mini event. Like, that's only going to be, like, this one thing. And, like, they finally released all that stuff today, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay, I'm so far... You said this happened today?
Well, they finally announced the whole thing today.
Oh.
What they're actually going to do with it now, today.
I was about to say, are you telling me that AT&T killed off 5G?
Yes, they absolutely killed off 5G. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, like, you know, I feel like every show that's good, it's almost like they're shocked that, like, I mean, we had announced at Comic-Con this year that Harley Quinn was getting a season 3, and I'm just like, why would you even consider whether they should be having like 4 more seasons locked in, right? Like Doom Patrol, like the stuff that works, you should be pushing the stuff that works. I mean, I thought did I read an article that said that it's going to cost $20 million to do the Snyder Cut?
It's going to cost, I think, a little more than that because he finally got his way and he's going to do some reshoots.
Oh Jesus!
And I think it went up to $70 million now.
No, oh my God!
Because of it.
And at the end of the day, we're going to get Zack Snyder's magnum opus.
That's 4 hours long.
Zack Snyder, the man who hates superheroes, is going to make the 4-hour. Okay.
Yes, this is happening.
Okay. Why would you ever do that?
I don't know.
I'm shocked that they said yes. That they said yes to this. That just goes to show, like, why would you ever do that?
They really don't know what they're doing.
Like, I don't know a lot of people don't like Movie Bob, but I remember watching a Movie Bob thing about the Snyder Cut where he's like, why would you do this? Like, there's only 2 outcomes, right? You put it out and it's bad and it makes you look even worse than you did before because your guy was so incompetent that he fucked up your Avengers movie, right?
No.
Or they put it out and it's good and you look like a fuck up because you didn't let the guy do your Avengers movie. Like, either way, DC looks foolish.
That's the thing.
And
like, it looks... Like, every time somebody brings up the Snyder Cut, I die a little bit in the inside. I think the only good thing that's come out of it is that he says none of his reshoots involve Superman at all. Like, Henry Cavill said he's not doing any of the reshoots, so that means none of them involve Superman for the most part.
Have you, Michael, considered not watching the Snyder Cut?
I have considered it.
like, I am not going to do this to myself. I know what's going to happen. I'm just going to be angry. I did not enjoy Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. I did not enjoy Man of Steel.
I'm gonna say what happened with me with Frank Miller's Superman Year One. I didn't want to read it. I ended up reading the entire thing, and it was bad. And I did it to myself. And I feel like the same thing's gonna happen.
And so you learned from that experience, and
I'm
you will
hoping
not be watching the Snyder.
The issue is that if you put Superman in something, I tend to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like a double-edged sword because I really like Superbad, but I know for a fact this is gonna end up terrible.
I've enjoyed almost none of the DC animated films, and yet I've watched all of them.
Yeah.
And I keep watching them, and I get to the end. I watched was it American Alien, or no? It was based on. It was the latest one
for Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I got to the end, and I was like, that was a mess, and I didn't like it, but that's my fault.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what happened when we watched fucking Red Sun. I was like, oh, this could be. Oh no, yeah, this is pretty bad.
Oh yeah, you're watching Red Sun and you're like, why?
Yeah,
why?
It ruins the entire point of that movie.
It was right there.
That entire movie is just awful because of what they do with it. And then I didn't even bother with Apocalypse War, which I heard was just super depressing.
I never watched it. I did, but one of the ones that I liked was the Supergirl one where Apocalypse kidnaps.
Oh, that was years ago.
Kara.
That's the thing.
Whatever.
That was before they did what they're doing now, which was that whole New 52 thing for a while.
Yeah.
And then that ended with Apocalypse War.
I was gonna say I don't think I've talked to anybody over the last few years who has been like, I loved the New 52. I'm so sad it's gone. Like every comic book person I know is just like, dude, fuck that. I hated it. Like
it was a terrible time.
Everybody says the same thing. They're just like, Batman was okay.
Batman was really good.
And like Aquaman was okay.
Good. So
exactly.
So was Animal Man. By the time I finally started liking their Superman, they killed him.
Yeah.
Literally, the exact moment I was like, you know what? I kind of like the Superman now. He died like an issue later.
So, and with X-Men, I feel like they're stuck in the past. I
actually don't know what the fuck's going on with X-Men.
They're making Apocalypse. Near as I can tell, like if you wanted to make an X-Men movie, like, can you imagine if they had the stones, the cojones to give like, a weird independent filmmaker a chance to make new X-Men into a movie like the Grant Morrison New X-Men where they do drugs and the one guy gets high and they're like all in high school and Beak and what's her name Angel are having fucking weird chicken bug babies.
There's a lot of weird shit goes on in the X-Men later on, guys.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like that would make for a really weird show. I would totally watch whatever that show was.
That's the thing is that like there's a lot of stuff with the X-Men that could be great if you let them if you let them do the weird shit.
Yeah.
But they're always going back to like the big events that a lot of people kind of know, but then doing them badly.
Right. I watched
they did Phoenix twice and they fucked it up both times.
That's true. They did. But they always want to do it's like in X-Men Apocalypse where they're like Psylocke is in this one and it's like why?
Yeah.
It's like cuz Psylocke's popular and it's like that's not a reason.
Yeah.
Like
the reasons are pretty shitty. Like, look at that guy. I was like, cool. What does he do? Nothing.
Yeah. And like Apocalypse is the worst bad guy to put it to. You know what they should do? You know what would be a great palate cleanser for the X-Men movies is, I don't know, pick whoever you want to. I got a little tired of them making Mystique into like the main character of the X-Men.
And she got tired of it.
Why? But like pick a group of X-Men. They don't even need to be the right actors, right? We all know who the X-Men are, right? Cyclops, Iceman, bring in Storm, Colossus, and Nightcrawler, right? Okay, that's a good team. And make a fucking Mojo movie where they start out and Longshot shows up at the mansion and he's like, X-Men, you've got to help me. And then you've got the big fucking blobby mojo, and it's all about like, oh, how we're all plugged into the media, right? You get a meta narrative.
So many things you can do with the X-Men.
It'd be super fun. Yeah,
the X-Men could be one of the coolest, like weird, because the X-Men are one of the few superhero teams that does whatever the fuck. Like it doesn't matter what's going on. Like they go from like street crime to intergalactic shit every other Tuesday. Like the Avengers are always like, Omega level fucking enemies kind of thing. Spider-Man's the only one who's closest to when it comes to the way the X-Men like go up and down in their level threats. The X-Men have the weird shit. Like they go from like, oh, this anti-mutant group to like the literal devil kind of thing. Yeah. Like the next week, it's like, what the fuck is happening?
You know what would be good? Have they done just like full on Cameron Hodge Genosha mutant extermination squads?
Nothing outside of the cartoons.
Like back in the original Genosha before it became like the mutant haven and all that stuff. Or like all the Shi'ar shit that they do.
There's so much cool shit that they've never even tapped into.
The Shadow King. Yeah. All the Shadow King. What about like Mr. Sinister has never showed up. I'm a big Mr. Sinister stan.
Mr. Sinister's fucking crazy.
Like it's always Apocalypse. It's like when they make a Batman movie and it's always the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
And it's just like there are other guys to fight than this. Like Magneto and Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse are not the only things the X-Men ever fought. There's like a bunch of weird shit out there. Bringing in Cassandra Nova.
The fucking, what is it, the Brood?
The Brood? Yeah.
Fucking, 100%. The shit they go through, guys.
Yeah.
The shit the X-Men go through.
Big ass.
Holy fuck.
Bugs that inhabit that like steal your brain. Like.
They're basically alien.
Yeah.
It's basically alien. Like, it's like, I love it. I love the stupid shit the X-Men get themselves into.
Do the Brood shapeshift? Or do they like inhabit the people?
I think they inhabit.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Although I think they can also like make aliens kind of similar to them.
And they're like,
I don't know, it's fucking insane.
Two scorpion tails, and
like, it's fucking crazy. I love the crazy shit the X-Men get into.
Fuck yeah. And they've done such a bad job.
They've done such a terrible job. Outside of the cartoons.
Who was the villain in First Class? Was it Magneto?
It was the Hellfire Club.
Was it the Hellfire Club?
Yeah, it was the fuck is his name?
Sebastian Shaw?
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw was the bad guy.
And Emma Frost?
And then he loses though, and then Magneto technically becomes the bad guy at the end.
I remember the end. Does he do the exact same thing at the end of Days of Future Past that he does at the end? Like at the end of First Class, doesn't he take a bunch of like nuclear missiles over? And at the end of Days of Future Past, he takes over a bunch of Sentinels.
Yeah, at the end of Future Past. Yeah, because I think he just ends up just giving up. I think if I remember correctly, and it's been a while since I've seen First Class, but it's a whole thing. But yeah, Sebastian Shaw was the original bad guy for that whole thing.
That's so
and then he gets defeated like about 80 or 90% way through the film, and then Magneto does his turn after that.
I mean, like, you know what, Michael? I'm just gonna say this: I would love to watch an X-Men movie that did not have Wolverine or Magneto in it.
Yeah, that's true.
There are a lot of stories without them.
Yeah, I would. That was one of the few things I liked about when they made those other two movies, or not the other two, because I think Wolverine still shows up in Apocalypse, if I remember correctly, for like a second.
They break him out of the. They need Stryker, right?
Yeah.
To fight the mutants that Apocalypse has mind control. I only know
Something
this because
like that.
I watched a YouTube video where they were just rewriting that movie to make it good.
But yeah, they break him out or whatever kind of thing, and then he just sort of fucks off.
Yeah.
But then the
TV head.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, he's not in Dark Phoenix, but that's it. Like I want a movie where Cyclops is fucking, the leader of the goddamn X-Men.
Yeah.
Instead of just like random fucking side character number 4.
Yeah. Yeah. There are so many things that they could do. I guess we should go back before we wrap up here. We'll just reinforce that you and I, a long time ago, were doing a podcast and we hit upon this concept that I feel like everybody should remember, that even I have forgotten since I said it out loud, is that, the vast majority of long-running franchises and adaptations are bad. Like most of them are failures and bad. Like most of Star Wars is bad. Most of literally half of Lord of the Rings is bad.
Yeah.
Like most of the superhero things that have been made are bad. It's only weird in that we've gotten some good ones.
Well, Marvel pulled off something that no one will ever pull off ever again.
Fantastic Four, the movie. Yeah. That's my favorite too.
Fantastic or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you're talking about the...
No, I'm talking about the one with Captain America.
Okay.
And fucking Michael Chiklis is the Thing.
Okay.
I'm coming home, baby.
I actually kind of like that first film.
I like that movie.
It's stupid as shit, but I actually kind of like that movie.
Yeah.
The second one is damn near unwatchable.
Horrible. How do you fuck up Galactus? Just dress a guy up into big contact lenses and then put him in a green screen. Bad. Yeah.
But no, like Marvel pull out some shit like no one will ever pull off ever again, which is they somehow kept a franchise going for 10 years.
True.
Like Amazing Spider-Man couldn't even get past 2.
Very true. Very true. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for watching. No, listening. Or watching. I mean, I guess if you watch that background
YouTube,
that I put on the YouTube video for 2 hours, that's weird. I probably don't do that. Those people. That's a cursed image I used for the background. Hit the like, subscribe button. Patreon, Rage Select. Check out Michael at oneofus.net.
Yes.
You see anything recently you could tell people about? Or
I recently came out with a review for a Liam Neeson movie called Honest Thief.
Okay.
So that should be up by now.
Does he have a very special set of skills?
He does.
Okay.
He was a bank robber.
Say no more. All I need to know is Liam Neeson, a very special set of skills.
But I'm recording another review tomorrow for the Lupin the Third movie.
Oh, okay.
The new one.
Right on.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Go check it out. That's it. That's our show. I'm going to sleep. Right now. I'm going to sleep right now.